All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience with us. We hope that you had time to go and sort out your snackages and your drinkages, and you are ready to dive into our South American match of the evening. I do believe we have set the stakes relatively well, maybe not the stakes, but the storylines as they stand. Very exciting matchup for a variety of different reasons. We're going to kick things off here on Mirage. It is the pick of the Curralzinhos, and at the starting gate, well, the starter pistol has sounded, and it looks like we are going to be going in for a quick and fast exec over towards... no, that's a lie. I was looking at literally one player and not looking at the minimap. I debated myself. It's a fake, folks. The rest of the team are running their way up mid, and they are getting spotted out. So any attempt at a fake here is going to be utterly ignored. Meanwhile, it is a heavily reinforced B site. So despite everything, they're just running straight into the stack. Only 2 players remain. The stampede of the killers, well, could not be matched by the horses.
Counter-terrorists win.
I think... Yeah, no, sorry. That really threw me off guard with the CT side being on the right.
Yes,
yeah, no, good
took me a second as well.
Yeah, good start to proceedings for Killers. Also, something to note, there is a roster change that happened also pretty last minute. So Sammy's is not playing. There is... Giuliano is subbing in for her, and she also subbed in for the Killers last season for 1 map. So a familiar face, but obviously it's never great to have a substitute, especially someone like Sammy's, who was at the top of the scoreboard for the Killers in their qualification game against Chemsour last. So she's already played very well to get here, and they're going to have to do battle without her in this opening game, which is also proving to be a little bit difficult in the second round. I'm sure that the Killers are still going to win this round, and I would assume 3 players still stay alive. Not even that. 2 kills and a bomb down is a phenomenal result for Curralzinho in their full eco. That's going to really benefit them in the upcoming gun round.
Yes, Giuliano, not to be confused with Giuliano, who is playing in Europe.
Slightly different, yeah.
Very slightly, yes. Just a few small differences there. But yeah, a very impactful round for Curralzinho because money garnered in a variety of ways. And that means that Cara de Banana will have an AWP for this 3rd round. So that's going to work out quite nicely for her. It's going to cause a heavy reinvestment, more than likely, from the Killers. Yeah, there you go. Heavy reinvest, because they know that they're going to be coming up against guns here. So losing this round is going to put them in a slight bit of trouble. You would have wanted them to be able to pivot off of the 2-round advantage a little bit better. Ooh. But caught with util out. Nice shot from you, and that's a good little opener there for Curralzinho to try and pivot off of.
Unfortunately, though, a missed window smoke. So that gives Tamazin, there's another missed window smoke, and this just gives so much availability for the CT side to fight in towards middle. But even them, the Killers come out on the wayside. Curralzinho have a 5 versus 3, and they're probably about to get an even bigger advantage because Bruna Killer has just trolled in towards ramp. She's tried to take space after the mid-prong really failed, and it's most likely just going to be a save for Juliana and Hera. So Curralzinho, they lose pistol, they do really well on the eco round, and now convert the gun round. So they're looking pretty comfy with economy, and the Killer's actually in a very difficult position even with these 2 saved weapons. I don't know how good their purchase is going to be next round, because it's 1400 loss bonus.
Yeah, I want to maybe chalk it up to a poor read, because there was quite a bit of obviously presence in towards mid. The 2 kills that came through were from 2 different players, so maybe Bruno Killer is thinking, okay, there's probably more of a, not necessarily a stack, but a bit more presence towards mid, so maybe I can wrap around a little bit and yeah, just swing straight into 3 people. So bit of a misread there, unfortunately, but I suppose that was the plan, right? Be a little bit more dynamic, show some presence, and then instantly kind of rotate away, take advantage of the confusion, and that will be a very quick turnaround for for Curralzinho, and an important one because we came into this saying that on paper the Killers should probably be favored. I will say, we often I don't want to say look down on, but we heavily underestimate young blood players, and usually they don't do as well as your veterans. But I mean, sometimes they show up and they do some really crazy things. So perhaps this was just kind of the secret weapon waiting around the corner.
It's the juxtaposition of what the open circuit is like. When you look at male teams, they tend to actually have a focus more on younger talent, whereas ESL Impact has that focus on experienced players. And unfortunately, never mind the younger talents coming out on top. Catty had to get more than one there. But it's still number confirmation that the Killers were all in towards middle. Juliano has just heard absolutely everything, though. She's heard Akane storming over towards that B-bomb site. And was that the point? Was it a ruse? Does Cara of the Banana has a pretty good idea that someone could be behind her? So Akane's just taking space and getting kills. This is super awkward because Juliana's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. But if she tucks, she's made noise and now they know where she is. Cara de Banana, apparently that communication wasn't passed over. That's a free kill. Looking for the 4K on 13 HP and the nade. Well, that's a pretty easy way to finish it off. And it's the young blood, just as you were mentioning, to win it out for Curralzinho.
And they managed to recover the AWP. Very close, or close enough to have been, to be able to do that. Fantastic.
Really nice movement, actually.
Really, like, interesting decision making as well. I figured that Cara would have just heard that herself, but whatever. Ultimately, the fact that there was such a low HP differential there, you toss out that HE and the cleanup is as easy as you like. Why take that fight if you don't absolutely have to? We'll even out the scoreline here, but this is now obviously where things get a little bit sticky for the Killers because, well, they have no money. And it's definitely not looked as clean as we might have expected. Now, we also just have to bear in mind the caveat of the fact that they are playing with a sub. And Sammy's is a really good player. So to not have her available, definitely a little bit of a hobble on the roster. So this might be the perfect opportunity for Curralzinho, right? Win an unpredicted, game. Would be fantastic. This is a lot of damage done, though. Why does this suddenly seem winnable? How have you not died, Juliana? Okay, there we go. Final one to come through. Kept it expensive, but yes, far scarier than it needed to be.
Yeah, so if we take a look at Mirage from last season for the Killers, they played it 3 times, and it wasn't one of the maps that they really enjoyed on. They actually lost on day 1 against Bounty Hunters FV 13-4. So the Killers won that series, but got dominated on Mirage. When they got 2-0'd by Oplano, Mirage was in that veto. So whenever they got a win on Mirage, it was against like the 7th or 8th rated team, right? When they played against anyone half decent on Mirage, they struggled. So I wonder if that's a sign for the future, or if they've patched some of those issues in the off-season and with some of this new blood as well. But it's going to be a slower and a bit of a change of default for Curralzinho. They've normally sent the majority out top mid. Here, they have 3 coming through underpass.
Juliana is waiting for it, though. There's certainly an inkling here. There's no window smoke. Seems like a little bit of a bait. Oh, you getting caught out, pulling out utility. And that's going to call for the activation from Juliana as well. So as the Killers start making their way into the open, or rather Curralzinho start to get shut down. Cara de Banana, though, somehow bringing this to an even kilter once again. However, she's dangerously low HP. And you could say, well, does it matter? She's got an AWP in hand. But it's going to make it very difficult for her to take any of these fights. And Hera is being very mobile here, very proactive, trying not to be predictable. And with 40 seconds left, Cara doesn't really have a lot of options. And she has no idea where Hera is at this point.
She expects Hera to come from mid. 30 seconds, though, she's going to start moving. And because Hera's played so passive towards TV, this passivity has allowed Cara a bit more wiggle room. So Hera's choosing to go towards the A bomb site through T-spawn. Cara's going over towards B. She's taken a long time to clear out everything. 10 seconds. I really hope it doesn't get to a point where she just doesn't plant the bomb. No, okay, there will be enough time. So there's now loads of room for this post plant because Hera actually has to clear out. Yeah, so that's just another few seconds. It's going to only be 20 seconds left on the clock. So Kara, where does she expect Hera to come from?
It's kind of nuts how well this just kind of worked out in Kara's favor that Hera decided to go on a crazy mission out through the spawn towards A. And now she's literally walking straight into... Oh no, Kara getting a little bit paranoid there. A slight reposition here. Here's the tap. She's going to pull out the pistol. The tap's a bit of a fake. Oh, and it's beautiful. Perfectly done there by Hera, but unfortunately not enough time to actually go for that defuse. So that will be the bomb exploding, but Hera will save the AWP, so at least they don't have to spend money for that. Money that they don't have.
It's hard to look at this round and be positive about saving an orb when everything went so right for the killers. You literally in a 3 versus 1 and you give Kara the banana isolated jewels in middle. Like that was actually fundamentally a pretty sloppy round from Curralzinho with no window smoke and also the underpass players being caught off from connector. But I don't even think there was time when Hera got onto the bomb as there was no kit. So Curralzinho kind of being saved there by our Kadia player to watch, by the veteran blood, and let's just hope that saved orb isn't going to be too much of an issue, as it's actually amusingly enough on Tamazinia over towards the B bomb site, which is not something I would have expected.
Well, it's going to be Kara's AWP that gets the draws first blood, as it were. But unfortunately, the AWP is being surrounded by less than stellar weaponry across the board here. So as you can see, the killers realizing they need to get a little bit proactive. They need to do something potentially a little bit crazy. They've cleared out most of A main. They obviously haven't cleared out Palace. So there could be potential for a reverse wrap. No, Bruna Killer's taken so much space here. She's going to be able to get right up behind them. She might... Yeah, she hears those footsteps. Knows there's a player.
Oh, no.
Shots don't connect. She's given away the game. And she'll likely lose her life here. Ooh, it's spicy, and there it is. Oh, that's unfortunate. She could at least give information across to her teammates on the other side of the map, but with that lurk falling into pieces, their chances of salvaging this round slowly whittle away. Tamazinia with a missed shot there, and that's I think that's round for them. Oh my goodness, there's a pivot from the killers. They're like, there's an AWP. We're not bothering with that. We're out of here. They're heading over to a completely unguarded A site. And you may think, well, is that necessary? But why take unnecessary risks? A nice molly there to deny movement from there. They do have this area from Akane covered quite nicely. So if anybody tries to pull this way, they can shut it down. And now, obviously, that safe call will come through.
Yeah, Akane also is very important for that pivot because Curralzinho wouldn't have had the confirmation that all 3 players were on that B-bomb site, but Akane completely clears out the site and has pushed into CT even before they start pivoting. So very important on her lurk activation and a very, 5 stay alive. On the face of it, it's a flawless round. God, that could have gone wrong. And if Bruna maybe hadn't pulled the trigger, was just a few seconds later, she would have been in a perfect position to flank and also have all her teammates moved over towards the B-bomb site. So that could have been a really nice round from the killers, but unfortunately it doesn't quite formulate. At least they saved the AWP and also a FAMAS in there. So the full purchase is going to come in. They've got ample enough money and they got to start getting a move on. 5-2 on their opponent's map pick. This is looking a little bit scary for the time being, seeing how they haven't won a gun round.
Still finding it very interesting that we've got Tamazinia.
This is a big change of pace.
Ooh, okay, nice. A little bit of clearing utility here. There we go. Site's cleared out. I mean, this round is over as quickly as it begins. 2 very snappy openers that crack open the site entirely. Nothing here to hold the line. And it's going to have to be an attempt at a retake. But Kara's got such a good little angle here. Beautiful shot. She's been incredible with the AWP so far this evening. Has had some really impactful frags and very few misses. I mean, again, you harken harken back to that 1v3 scenario, and sure, they did give her ones, but under that much pressure, there's always the possibility that you completely mess it up, and she didn't. She continued to activate, so kudos to her. And unfortunately, that's going to be yet another round where the Killers have to back away and hold on to what they have.
It was actually a really, really nice call to change up the pace like they did. Yeah, they've been playing more very slow mid defaults. Even then, like when they've gone mid, it's been very slow paced. So the change up the call there and instantly hit towards the A bomb site, you can just tell how caught off guard the Killers were. And then also, as you mentioned in the moment, that was really nice utility for the site to clear out those anchors. Talking about the AWP and Tamzenia, so Selax, who's been dropped, who's gone over to thekillaz, or dropped,
Yes.
departed, moved away. She was the AWPer for the Killers last season. When we watched Tamzenia play for thekillaz last season, she wasn't AWPing. So she is now the AWPer of the team. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure what that change of role really is. But that is a big change up, I suppose. And I don't know. So far, she has had difficulty just kind of being in the right place, actually.
I wonder if it's less a case of, like, maybe she was always an AWPer, but because she was standing in, she had to kind of fill the role that was available. Unsure, but funnily enough, I was talking about not having Sammys and how that might be a factor, but it's the stand-in of Juliana that's been really a massive pivot point for the Killers in a lot of these rounds, sitting at 9-4 at the moment, topping the server, in fact. So perhaps not the stand-in that's the issue here for the Killers, and just kind of struggling a little bit to find pacing and to find momentum. It is their first game of the season, so perhaps we are just seeing some, dusting off the rust, so to speak. But this is beautiful from Curralzinho so far. We talked about them being at the starter gate, and well, they have taken off at an absolute gallop so far through Mirage.
Sorry, quick stat check. Tamzenia has never AWPed on HLTV before until basically, so the last season she played with KG last year wasn't AWPing. The first time she's AWPed was the qualification game and this map. So that's a big role shift. And currently, Kara's doing really well. Obviously, she hit the 1 versus 3, but it's even in that last gun round, picking off the jungle player, like being in the right position at the right time. And it's just about to be 7-2. This is about to be another save for the Killers after stacking incorrectly after a poor mid take. So a really good call from Curralzinho off their success in mid to pivot, and they just had the perfect guess. So this is a 7-2 scoreline. The Killers won a pistol. They barely won an anti-eco. Am I a genius with my prediction?
Ah, yes, your prediction of pretty logo.
Hey, bull knowledge. You can't explain it sometimes.
Stranger things have happened. I don't know. Yeah, it does seem a little bit wonky at the moment. I think there's still time, right? This is still Curralzinho's map pick. I'm not going to take anything away from them, though. They are looking very good, far better than I had expected coming into this. I liked that the Killers tried something different here, went for that more aggressive mid positioning, but it definitely felt like Curralzinho had the inkling that there could be some sort of a change up. They played that very carefully, made sure to kind of isolate those duels where they could, and took full advantage. And once they had the numbers, much easier for them to pivot. Ooh, Tamzenia not as crispy with the AWP as you would need to be at this level. And unfortunately, not getting those opening frags. I mean, it's such a heavy investment as well. And this is obviously fairly common knowledge, but when you're spending that much money into the weapon, sure, you can talk about the threat of it, but if you start to realize that the hands that are holding it are not backing up the threat, it's more bark than it's bite, you stop respecting it as much. They've seen that first shot come through, and off the back of a couple of smokes, they have the bravery to push forward. However, to their folly, Flystyle holding beautifully, gets that first opener, a double kill as well before she's finally traded out. And that's just the opener that the Killers needed. It's forced a rotation from Curralzinho all the way over towards this A site where Bruna is waiting with open arms, spots the first. That should be the call that, yes, they are pushing this way. As that bit of utility comes through, she can swing on it. Kara will trade because she has been incredible. Swaps over onto the AK now because trying to push this exec with an AWP will be incredibly difficult. They're quite scant on utility. One smoke remaining. Do they leave that for the bomb for later? Do they try to smoke off Tamazinia? It looks like instead they're just going to go for that plant. Try to be a bit braver about this one. Flash comes out, but they managed to dodge it. Unfortunately, Kara lost on site all by her lonesome, not able to survive. It's all down to Catty. Gets that first 1 versus 2, but they know where she is, and now she has to play this perfectly. A smoke does come onto the bomb. It's not hers. She knows where that first player is, but the inkling of the second, not enough. Hera will put it down, and finally, after what seems like a lifetime, the Killers will get a third on the board.
A little bit lucky though. Flystar getting 2 in middle without being traded off the first feels like a bit of poor maneuvering from Curralzinho after a very awkward mid posture from the CT side. Like, they were trying to fight individually. It was looking rather strange. So Flystar getting that 2 was basically all that she needed to do that. Another fast play. Last time this was pulled off, Curralzinho, it was great util onto the bomb site, and that's exactly what's going to happen again. They've been awarded that opening kill. Tamazinia with the AWP at close range is struggling, but finally hits a shot. Does go down. It's a 3 versus 3, but look how close the Killers are. There's 2 players in CT already storming their way forward. Now the favor swings over to their side, and Pack left in an unwinnable 1 versus 3. This A push will not work a second time.
Oh, it's taken a while, but it seems like they might just be coming into their own now as this map progresses. And honestly, not even a too little too late as far as I'm concerned. If they can snag this next round, 7-5 is definitely doable on the turnaround. Once they get themselves onto that T side and they can start to, you know, set the pacing a little bit more for themselves, it's definitely doable. It's definitely recoverable. But I think a round win here can be a big difference maker for Curralzinho. The fact that the last 2 A pushes had been read into relatively well and executed by the Killers so well may just give them a bit of pause as they attempt to figure out what this next approach is going to be. They've left bomb behind before they commit to anything. A little bit of poking and prodding to see where they can find an opening for themselves or carve one out.
Ooh, that's a good mollo.
I thought it was going to miss for a second there, but it does blossom beautifully. And of course, Catty taking advantage. I don't know why you run that way. I'm going to be real. I feel like you should run back to site, but there you have it, folks.
Had a flash on short. If she just popped one over, at least there were some methods to the madness. But that's an opening kill for Curralzinho that just feels like way too easy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely gifted at that point, and around that the Killers maybe needed. Slips away. Oh, finally an uncharacteristic miss from Cara de Banana, but that's okay because Catty is there to follow it up. Another kill from the young gun. She is continuing to be a boon for this roster, but now the B site needs to be cracked through. Kills to come through, however, for the Killers, living up to their name, but unfortunately, they've left Tamazinia in a 1 versus 2 with scant health available. Only an AWP in hand to try to mount this. Thank goodness she moves away from that HE. That could have been a very unfortunate end to the round. Now at least she has an opportunity. Not going to be able to pick up a gun here, so has to play this super perfectly. Has to isolate this beautifully, and unfortunately misses the swing. 8-4 will be the scoreline at the half. A pistol round desperately needed from the Killers after this break.
That's how we like it. That's how it goes. Come on. stop. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We touch down every time. This is our time. Hit it up with the rebound. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back. Anybody in the league gonna stand in front of me? Oh, no, no. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back. Anybody in the league gonna stand in front of me? We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We own it. Every time. We're winning every time. Winning. We own it. Winning. We're winning every time. We own it. Every time. We own it. Every time.
Still see things in my apartment. Or in the places where your heart went. Traces of life got me thinking maybe you love me, but that's just how it started. Worn things and problems that I don't need. Toothpaste, cigarettes, and heartbeat. Taught me to whisper when I'm sleeping, saying you love me, but that was just a daydream. Hearts on fire and hearts on wine. You were standing right in front of me. Museum of all lost time, where you had me on display, yeah. All the while, tomorrow we will rise.
Despite a heroic behold from Flystyle, it's an 8-4 for Curralzinho. The new gen are certainly putting pen to paper in their debut game of ESL Impact South America.
Honestly been so impressive. But we were talking a moment ago, there's been a few players that have gone a little under the radar and have really had some impressive showings. So looking forward to seeing a little bit more of that as we head into the second half. And as mentioned, a pistol round is going to be pretty important here for the Killers if they want to have much of a chance into the second half. So already they've started to make their way in towards the site. They've taken out those anchors very quickly. Pack is still here, but she's all alone. My God. All right. Nice little flick from her to get at least one. Trade that back. Very separated from the rest of the team who have set up somewhat of a weird triangle. How have you gone and done that, Catty? Yes, Bruna Killer will get a trade off, but there's still potential here. Unfortunately, time not on their side. And no, with Catty getting caught out there, Akane has to do the damn near impossible. Does not have much time here. So she's going to smoke that off. Taps it to try and get someone to come out into the open. And that's exactly what they do. The swing from Hera shuts it down. And a much needed pistol goes the way of the Killers.
When I saw the smoke kit, I was thinking, there's a chance. But both pistol rounds now going in favor of the Killers. A really good round from Bruna Killer after quite a slow first half performance. This is exactly what the Killers need, because if Curralzinho had won that pistol round, I might have already suggested that Mirage was over. So that is just kind of a mandatory step in the right direction. It's going to be an eco round for the CT side. So for the Killers, what we're looking at right now is just keeping it clean, because that was something they couldn't do in the first half, and that really came to bite them.
Oh my God, Juliana. Ooh,
this is either going to go
scary.
so good or so bad.
Ooh, it could have been worse. It honestly could have been worse. A little bit of damage done here. A couple of free guns handed over, one of which is an AK. Let me just hold on to the gun here. None of those shots connecting, unfortunately. An extra kill would be quite nice. I think... the smoke comes up to block their sight lines, and, well, all right, we're going to have one backing off with that AK, and that's potentially going to be a save. Yeah, oh, geez, she's heading to Narnia. All right, we'll see if the MAC-10 can maybe pick something up on the exit, at the very least, but yeah, I think this round's basically done and dusted.
Can Kara get a bit sneaky?
It's a bit cheeky.
No shenanigans. Okay, they kept it cleaner. An AK being saved and 2 kills, though, for Curralzinho will be seen as a success in their camp. So now we get into the real meat and potatoes of things. The first half was, apart from like 2 rounds, concentrated solely towards middle. The killers could do something quite sneaky and just go for a fast play to one of the bomb sites, and I think that can catch off Curralzinho massively. Speaking of Curralzinho, Karen Banana's got an AWP out in the second round, in the first gun round, and that's solely because of that saved AK.
And we've seen how impactful she can be with that in hand. Hold up, press pause. Everyone on Curralzinho has 9 kills.
Oh yeah, at the half, it was split between 2 kills, and it's so interesting to see how they were 8-4 up, and the most kills was 9, and the lowest was 7.
That's crazy, man. And that's what you need. Everybody firing on all cylinders makes such a big difference. Hell yeah. It's not very often, though, that you see everybody on the exact same number, so that just kind of, it tickled me a little bit.
I think it's about to change, though, because Kara's about to get a little... I don't think Flystar is going to expect an AWP holding her. Luckily, she gets smoked off, though.
Yeah, there had to be some sort of an inkling that something cheeky, something shenanigan-y could have been happening there, but they'll circumvent the vast majority of that danger, start making their way in towards site here. The sounds of gunfire alert you, but unfortunately she's only going to be good for the first pack now. Has to try and play all alone on the site, and she will eventually get taken down. Now Akane bringing up the side, manages to bring it back into a more contestable scenario, but they aren't able to stop that bomb from being planted. Molotov comes through, but it's going to be somewhat extinguished, so there's still time, there's still space to work with for this retake. Unfortunately, walking straight into the open arms of the killers, who are holding strong, but Juliana now dangerously low, skirting the middle of this smoke, trying to find someone, waiting for the sound of a tap. She's playing this really well, but unfortunately, she's not going to be given the time. She's not going to be given the opportunity, and a beautiful retake to come through from the horses.
From the horses? From Akane. That was all her. 4 kills solely from the retake. And that's after a round that everything felt like it was gonna go in the favor of killers. They got up short completely for free. There was no information being garnered to suggest that they were going there. And then also the players on the B bomb site went 1 for 2. They were very isolated. They weren't ready for that short break. You can kind of see that it was like, oh crap, they are literally on the bomb site, and we didn't know that. So Curralzinho, they don't fight for mid, and that really comes to bite them. But then Akane, one of the 2 brand new players, really steps up. That is a phenomenal round from her, and it's really good to see. We were talking about how much we're excited to see this younger talent, and look at what she's already been able to do in such an important swing round.
So, as it turns out, thank you, chat, Curralzinho is essentially like a stable, like a horse barn.
Because a corral is... Let's get a meaning check, just so I can fully understand.
I mean, I tried. I did go to Google Translate, and Google Translate was very unhelpful, so I went to the chat, because that's where we get all of our Portuguese information from.
It's like, if I'm not mistaken, a corral is like a group of animals in like a pen. When you like corral animals.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I suppose,
I use that
yeah.
fairly often in my casts. In fact,
Really?
corral the Have you never heard me say that? Corralling the enemy team into like a thing when they pincer and no, okay.
Okay, a corral, so O instead of a U. I guess that's kind of the language difference. Is a pen for horses, cows, or other livestock. If your sheep get out of the corral, you'll have to take the dogs to help and round them up. So, and it comes from the Spanish word corro, which means ring. Or from
there
the
you
old
go.
Portuguese word corral with a U, meaning pen or enclosure.
Well, there you go. Oh, also,
We
there
got
was the
animal facts, we got language facts, we got everything.
We also got the clarification that it is in the diminutive, which I'm assuming is the Zinho part. So it's a little horse pen.
Wait,
It's a pony horse pen.
oh. I mean,
I don't know if it's actually for ponies, but that's where my mind went with little horse.
yeah. Or it could just be a single horse. Either way, that's really cool. It's very rare that Twitch chat can be any bit helpful, but I always find, especially for South America on ESL Impact, because we always have difficulties with words one way or another.
Yes.
I will say this feels like the only broadcast Twitch channel that will actually help you instead of just mocking you.
Troll
so,
you? Oh,
you know
that too.
what? Big up, guys and gals.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
South American community absolutely banging. I mean, they were the ones that helped us with the whole carrot to banana thing as well. We had like a bunch of people
We
just
have
giving us
so many
different-
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Love the South American scene. Love being a part of this every season. Unfortunately, guys, we do have another tech issue. If you hadn't noticed, we were not waffling just for the sound of our own voices. Much as, that
That's a big surprise, actually. That's
Yeah.
normally what it is.
nobody becomes a caster if they don't like the sound of their own voice. Let me tell you that for nothing. Either that or we just never watch our VODs.
I'm a little bit worried because when we went to tech pause, both teams had someone disconnected. So that terrifies me. I'm not sure, but like I'm sure we'll be in soon. Also, Cara de Banana having bananas in her webcam is just elite. I also appreciate she is just staring into our soul right now.
I'm not even convinced she's looking at us. I feel like she's just looking at something where her webcam happens to be, and it's just also my soul. Also love all the like lanyards and like that looks like medals as well. I wonder what those are for. Do you think they're all CS related?
I would imagine it's quite hard to keep up with events in South America because a lot of them don't really get coverage. So a lot of these players will be like, oh, we did this and that and this. And you're just like, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Every now and then we have the, oh, Furia beat Imperial in a South American land and MIBR just beat Furia at a South America land. And it's always like that. I didn't even, why do I always find out after the fact? That's the really sad part.
The most recent one, which is what we were talking about yesterday, where MIBR beat Furia on the Lotus Challenge. If I'm not mistaken, that was held on a like a literal army ship, like a landing, like and what's it called when it's like planes land on a ship in water?
You're asking the wrong person, man. But we
if
all
I'm
know
not-
what you mean, so.
Yeah, like it was because there's been two South American lands recently that have just been extraordinary. One was in a tube station, and then this one was on like quite literally a cruiser, which is really funny. And they're just so obviously better than us if that's what this type of stuff they're pulling out. I mean, I could be completely wrong about this one being the MIBR at Furia, but nonetheless, they did have at least 8 LAN on a ship, which is really cool.
That is insanely cool. I love that. Listen, some of us are fighting just to have a LAN in a building somewhere. Fun fact, actually, South Africa is having a BYO LAN in a parking garage.
Right.
Standard South Africa things.
Yeah, the most normal thing to happen.
a parking garage in a mall, no less, right? So I feel I need to clarify, because in South Africa, parking is not a problem. We don't have like structures dedicated to parking. That's very weird. When you go somewhere, that place has parking for you. So our malls have parking. And on like the 8th floor of the mall parking garage, they have set up a like area where they want to do events and whatnot. And the first event that they're holding is like a big tech expo that we've had for
cool,
many years. It is cool, but it's also going to be in December, which for those not in the Southern Hemisphere is summer in Africa in a parking garage. Ooh, yeah. With PCs running and generating heat, and also hundreds of people, all their bodies close to one another. Many people will be cosplaying.
Lots of people sweating then.
Oh yes, for many different reasons.
We so as everyone knows at this stage, Epic LAN, we are just so obnoxious that we kind of force everyone to know about us. Yeah, that LAN hall gets pretty spicy in summer, very sweaty. But then also, if you then go play your morning games, it's like ice cold. So if you're there on 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning for your consolidation final, it's ice cold. So there's the real like kind of juxtaposition of it goes from being boiling hot to boiling cold. And also in October last year, love Epic LAN, but they had the wise idea for food to bring a fish and chips van. My God, the stench.
Oh God.
We're trying to play a game qualification for HLTV, and I'm just like, lads, what is that smell? Like, what has just happened? It just hit you like a brick wall.
So what you're telling me is that you are so ready for DreamHack Stockholm, so I can take you to get surströmming. Is that what we're saying?
Is that the really bad smelly one?
Yeah, even productions are out here going, oh no.
I'm actually gonna need some help from production, because I was working, we were speaking about horses, I was working a horse event in Sweden, and on the Saturday night, they produced for food for catering. It was this, to this day, it gives me nightmares. It's like, it's just plain bread, it's bread with like mayonnaise and prawns just stacked on top of each other. Like, it's like a massive sandwich with like prawns in it or whatever, and just loads of mayonnaise. And it was truly one of the most revolting thing I've ever had in my life. How is that
revolting?
And I was speaking to the organizers, and just as production said, it's very popular. Apparently it's like a delicacy where you have it on like, I guess our epitome of like a Thanksgiving, you have this, like you produce it in front of the whole family. And all the internationals were just like, what is this?
Bro, I remember it was so obviously the studio is in Stockholm, so we go there, and in the hotels, in the reception areas, they have sandwiches, coffee, chips, that kind of thing. And the sandwiches that they have are these like prawn sandwiches. Like it is absolutely a thing. The thing that gets me, right, is that if I'm not mistaken, Sweden you'll take one piece of bread and put something on it and call that a sandwich. Now,
Delicacy.
I'm sorry, but that's not a sandwich. That's a piece of bread. A sandwich is 2 pieces of bread. I don't know where y'all came with this 1 piece of bread as a sandwich thing, but I'm gonna be honest, it kind of drives me nuts.
I will say though, Sweden and Stockholm, what a place. Oh, it's so amazing. I love Stockholm so much. And the chocolate in Sweden, phenomenal. So for anyone who's coming to the ESL Impact Season 8 finals in Stockholm, chocolate. Try some chocolate.
So not to give you too much FOMO, Freddie, but when I go to Stockholm, the beautiful ladies in production bring me chocolates that I get to take home. And funny story, I actually still have, so I was in Stockholm last year for DreamHack.
It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I still have 1 chocolate left from what I was given in December last year. Because I love chocolate, but I can't eat a lot of it.
Yeah,
so
you're just kind of savoring it. You have like a little nibble every day, so that's to be done. Sorry, speaking of ESL Impact finals in Stockholm, if anyone is going to visit, there's actually a lot of Counter-Strike on that weekend. So something that has gone really under the radar was the ESL Pro League qualifier BYOC LAN. So there's one in America and there's one in Europe. So it's a 3-day BYOC LAN for a qualifier to ESL Pro League. So, you know, like pretty big stakes. That, if I'm not mistaken, is at the DreamHack, which is also where ESL Impact is being held. So if you are going to be there, there's going to be so much Counter-Strike. I have, albeit, heard that attendance so far for that BYOC LAN is quite low because obviously BYOC has kind of like, you know, not everyone could bring their PCs. But yeah, like if you are there, this will be a DreamHack where if you want to go watch Counter-Strike and meet some Counter-Strike people, there's going to be a lot of them.
DreamHack was really cool. I actually really enjoyed it last year. Hopefully I'll get to go again this year, fingers crossed. But very cool, very cool. Also, quick update. Capybaras, they actually managed to take 5 rounds off of Furia on the first map, which doesn't sound like much, but that's really impressive for a team that we had kind of counted out at the start of their series. So well done, ladies.
I was all on the Capybara. I was all on the bandwagon.
Lies. You started with the whole capybara versus a panther thing. You don't talk nonsense.
It was, yeah. I actually, I have my like plushie capybara with me right now. So don't be mean or Clyde's going to hear you.
Clyde, what a name.
Clyde. He's called Clyde. When we next go on camera, he will be shown.
Nice. I like that. Apologies for the random silence there. We were just getting a little bit of an update from production. And it seems like Murphy's Law is upon us here in South America. The usual. It wouldn't be a South American broadcast without a couple of issues sprinkled in on top. So, folks, instead of continuing the Freddie Sam podcast this evening, I know it's been terribly interesting for all of you. We're actually going to throw this to a quick break. And when we come back, hopefully we can play out the rest of our map. So see you in a bit.
Never
mess with it. They try to reference it, wanna say they invented this. I know you can't resist, trying to be like this. Don't even take the risk, walk away, cause I got everyone wishing they had what they're missing, but no, never know. Guess I got it simple, I'm not like the people you know. Make it look easy. I bet I'll make it look easy. Don't try to fake it to be me. Just cause I make it look easy. Make it look easy, I do it in my sleep at night. Don't try to get it right, gotta stay alive. I gotta win, nah. I'm making a name, nah. Winning again, nah. Wanna play, cause I got everyone wishing they had what they're missing, but no, never know. Guess I got it simple, I'm not like the people you know. Make it look easy. I bet I'll make it look easy. Don't try to fake it.
For legal reasons, the following is a joke. Production made us go to break so that they could yell at us about Toast Scargin. Not actually true, but they did give us a little bit of insight into that. We are back, folks, and in the midst of a bit of a weird round buy-wise, I think I lost a lot of the context of what things look like before we jumped. Yeah, no. Context is king. Context is king, and I have lost a lot of that. So we are now no longer a sovereign state. We'll see if we can get ourselves back into some semblance of normalcy, as Kara has taken a fairly aggressive position in towards apartments here, waiting for someone to swing her. The problem is the person that is likely to swing her also currently has the bomb on their back, so this should be quite interesting. There's a heavy stack over towards A. I suppose because they've inserted Kara so deep, they think that they'll have enough time to rotate over when necessary. Util starting to come through here to just really sell a fake. A shoulder gets peeked, Kara gets the shot, the bomb gets dropped, she can pull away. They're still going to be pushing out onto A to really try and sell this, but Kara, having been able to reposition entirely uncontested, means that she's still holding strong. And with bomb recovered and the entirety of the A contingency shut down as well, these last three Killaz players will attempt to continue mounting this exec over towards this B site, and Kara, well, eventually she'll miss. She didn't miss the first two, but that last one finally shuts her down. She's given her team a 2-player advantage. Chances of getting this bomb down slowly dwindling away. It's a good Molotov to buy them that little bit of extra time, and yes, they will be able to at least get that bomb planted. But now the retake starts to come through. We've got a bit of a two-pronged attack with the vast majority pulling in from the sidelines. Catty will be the one to shut it down, and it's the easiest retake of their lives. Bomb defused, double digits.
Kara was in a position where she had to hit at least the first shot, and then she does even better by hitting the second. And the reason why wasn't just because, oh, like she's aggressive with the AWP, she needs to get away. There was no rotations. Pac was the closest player, and she was in CT, like fighting for A. So there was no one even in the realms of possibility when it came to help. So Kara de Banana like had to hit those shots, and she does. I really hate the overpeak from her after she got that second kill, because she probably could have been in a position to deny the bomb being planted. But that round from Killaz probably would have worked if Kara hadn't hit that shot, because the fake A kept 4 players there. So if they could just get past Kara de Banana, bomb could go down and they could have played a round out. But no, Kara has simply played really well and really consistent this game. And because of that, Curralzinho go to double digits and also up against a low purchase.
Couple of Tech 9s in the smattering there. I do enjoy a Tech 9 round. As you know, it's very much one of my favorite types of round. We'll start low and slow, get ourselves into a good position to try to pivot off of. The standard util to come through, as much of it as we can afford to send out. Flashes, smokes, quite a bit here to try and leverage something. But, oh, Akane, what a solid hold there. Again, it is the anti-eco, but 3 from her. Doesn't look like Bruno's even going to be able to get a bomb plant. An unfortunate showing in that one. 11 rounds here. Curralzinho, the horses have come to play.
Nay.
Get me out, chat. Get me out.
The fact that I've just been wowed by production for viewers that won't like that. That's how low that was. But no, it's actually a great position to be in. 4 players alive, 5 players alive. Denied the bomb plant on their force buy. It means that a lot of individuals for the killers will not have full utility. This for Curralzinho has a 13-6 written all over it. They have the killers right where they want them, and this is the start of another pretty sizable upset today. Obviously not as big as an Imperial Valkyrie is losing, but in South America, I'd say it's somewhat on par a little bit.
All right, we're getting into last chance territory here for the killers to bring back this map. Nice one from Flystyle. I wasn't sure that the crouch peak was going to win against Karazorp there, but that's a beautiful opener for them. You've taken down one of the raid bosses. Akane still exists, so you're going to have to deal with that at some point. 17-9 is where she sits at the moment, but numbers advantage is huge here. The killers have really struggled to get opening frags throughout this map, so hopefully they'll be able to pivot off of this one. Making quite a bit of noise in towards mid here. Oh, they do. Oh, okay. At least there's somebody holding for it, so there will be a trade-off. Still not ideal. As much as trades favor the T's, this is where things start to get a little bit scary. Bomb's been dropped onto the floor, but the last 2 players for Curralzinho are pretty separated from one another. Ooh, that nearly got scary, but managing to dodge most of that damage. Are they aware that Akane is here?
They know.
They have any sort
Bruno
of an
spotted
inkling.
her.
All right. That's helpful, at least. They've set up a nice little crossfire for themselves here. A good triangle. It's going to have to be perfection from these final 2 players to clear out this site piece by piece, moment by moment. Both of them have kits, 2 smokes on board as well to use for that potential retake. Akane gets 1, brings it to a more even kilter. Double smokes coming through onto the bomb to allow that defuse. She's just sticking it. Oh, my heaven.
Hera had a nade. And Akane also gets a kill on Bruno. So only 1 player survives for killers. This is just misery, because that was a round they should never have been losing. They had really good trades coming up through A. And then on top of that, it was a 2 versus 1 with one of your players holding a HE. That smoke goes down. Hero should be instantly dropping that nade into the smoke. But I think the nade also missed regardless. So Akane, she has had a really, truly phenomenal performance on the CT side. We were commenting at the half. Everyone was kind of on like 7, 8, 9 kills. The first gun round, everyone was on 9 kills. Akane is the one to have broken through, and she's also one of the 2 new players that are playing their first ever ESL Impact game. She is one for the future.
Map point for Curralzinho on their own map pick, so that's a very good look to kick off this first one. Remember, guys, this is still map 1. Slowly making our way through this series.
The day, actually.
That too. I mean, bearing in mind that EU, the first map, went to like 3 overtimes. Like, it just, you know, it's one of those days. It's one of those days.
It's in the water.
I think the pressure is certainly mounting here for the killers. I really hope leaving the bomb there was on purpose. You see it happen way too often where there's just like a miscommunication. So it always does make me a little bit nervous. That is the second time that Flystyle has just sat Kara down. Very entertaining. But can they pivot off of it this time? Last time didn't really work out for them. Pack has taken a ton of damage, but you... Oh, she's just in the perfect position to protect her teammate. A double kill, spray through, a third to follow it up just to really cement her claim on this site. Finally, she does get put down, but Pack not able to replicate her teammates' results. So that leaves them in a 2 versus 2. Still absolutely a winnable scenario here for the Killers. They know where one of the players is. Do they know where Akane is? Akane spotted out one, but with those shots firing through, they now know that there's a bit of a crossfire set up here. They have to play this very carefully. They've baited out a few shots from Catty, so her position is also well telegraphed with any sort of movement that may have happened. Akane has scaled up, closed some of that distance. Now beautifully played by the Killers. They double up, take down Catty, and now Akane will be the only player left, the only challenge for them to try to surmount. She's going to try and separate these duels. Beautiful swing. Bruna is the one that gets it, but they swung together. So even if she lost, they would have been able to clear that one up. A stay of execution for the Killers, but still so much more to be done.
The Killers keep their head above the water, but this is a round that is an opening kill and a lot of space being created by the Killers, and yet it comes down to them having to win a 2 versus 4. I want to say them, I mean Bruna Killer, who has had a phenomenal round. This may as well have been a 1 versus 4 for all things said. But the Killers, look, they keep their head above the water. Can they replicate it? Issue is their backs are going to be consistently against the wall. They're already coming in with like another pretty poor purchase. The Galil out in play. Curralzinho have another full buy, and the window smoke is missed. But luckily, Kara is pushing ramp solo aggro. I'm not sure about that one.
Getting a little bit punished now. I think maybe she got a bit overconfident with how well the start of this map has gone for her. Not just the start, I mean right up until this point it's been pretty darn good. So taking a little bit more liberty with her skills and positionings, and unfortunately getting punished for it. Another round for the Killers. I must admit, with that pause coming through, I think it gives you a moment to just kind of chill, calm down a little bit. You know, we talk about momentum pauses. So very often a team will take a attack timeout when a team has built up crazy momentum, just to try to break that a little bit, just to try and, you know, throw them off their game and find a moment to get their own footing back in. So while you're not technically allowed to speak during a technical issue, you at least have that, like, okay, Curralzinho has strung together 1,000,000 rounds, but this should put a stop to that momentum. So it did come at a very unfortunate time for them, but it's great to see that the Killers have taken advantage of that. And it looks like they've kind of hit the ground running with this one. They've done some serious damage to Curralzinho's long-term economy as well. So they've actually positioned themselves to maybe even get all the way up to double digits here. Winning this round would be a massive feather in their caps. We might actually see them go up to 10. Dare I say it, we may yet get our first South American overtime.
We're definitely jumping a few steps. Scoreline, to me, right now, feels a lot closer than what it truly is. Like, this has felt like a super one-sided game, and yet it's most likely going to be 12-9 after this low buy round is subdued and mid-aggression really thwarted. The Killers a little bit lucky that 4 players were at once upon a time in middle, and then Akane and Yu just disengaged really quickly. So Catty and Pat kind of got sent to the slaughterhouse. And AK should be picked up, and Akane has the saved A1S. There actually should be 3 rifles picked up because there was an A1S also dropped. Curralzinho, just save. 3 rifles, you're not going to win this round. One player doesn't have any armor. Kara's 47 HP. Saving these 3 rifles is amazing. Damage, to be honest, doesn't matter. It's all about just saving these rifles, and it means that you can go into the next firing on full cylinders, and so far this is exactly what's going to happen. But, why?
Rather unfortunate on that one. I mean, looking at their economy, right? Like, they're in a bit of a tight spot. They'll obviously have that loss streak. There you go. They'll be able to eat something out.
That would have been a big, yeah. Because, I mean, the AWP should come out at least. Akane could drop an AWP to Kara, but, like, you know, money's really not great. I feel like a very unnecessary swing, and not as much unlucky, more carelessness. Trying to finish the game, do a little bit too much.
Oh, yeah. So Tom, who used to do a bit of the impact with me way back in the day.
My predecessor.
We had to think about yeah, pretty much. We used to talk about the let's get it done syndrome. And so many teams, particularly in like the tier 2, tier 3 sphere, they have that where you get to map point and you start doing crazy things because you're like, okay, let's just close it out, guys. And things start to get very messy. And it's one of the pressures that teams really do have to deal with, especially as you get to like higher tiers and stuff. You cannot let that syndrome, quote unquote, get into your mind too much. And well, we'll see if Curralzinho have managed to bring themselves towards themselves a little bit. Yeah, very quickly, Furia 13-1, the Capybara is on the second map, so that's a quick 2-0 for Furia's first game of the season. They'll be going up in the standings. Very much an expected result from them at the very least.
Heartbroken. I'll never recover.
You and James both.
Let's see how this game ends up. It's a full buy from Curralzinho. They have 2 more left in the tank, unless they save. So they've got a bit of wiggle room, even if this goes the wayside. I'm not convinced by killers just yet. So even that last gun round had to be a 2 versus 4, right? Not a convincing win. And, ooh, Akane opening duel. It's very awkward. Neither player there really wanting to commit. And Bruna Killer's going to now get support, but they've just been smoked off on ramp. Are they just going to go straight for it? They're just going straight onto A.
That was a bit of a dangerous dance happening there. You say straight onto A. One
That
smoke
nade,
to come through.
yeah, that nade was very... If that nade had hit the smoke, I think they were going to go straight through. But instead, they've just waited it out. They're still going to just... They're actually contacting their way in, and no one's looking at ramp.
This is potentially scary. A nice Molotov to clear out under, but there's no one there, so it doesn't make a big difference. Ooh, a second Molotov to force the AWP off of its position, forces Kara into an uncomfortable spot, and she'll get punished for it. Nice little push through here. The Palace player gets caught out as well. That was clean. I think that's one of the cleanest rounds we've had from the Killers. And what's crazy is that I don't think they were initially planning to contact up, and that smoke coming through forces them to have to reconsider, and they pivot really well.
Great round from Killers. Can't get anything away from that, but definitely a massive misplay from Curralzinho. You can see that Cara de Banana was so focused on mid with the AWP in top com that she was then caught between 2 mines, and understandably so, didn't anticipate Killers to just be jumping around onto stairs. So she gets isolated super quickly. Yu takes a very isolated fight on short, goes for 1-for-1. Catty, even though flashed in, doesn't get a single kill on CT. And then Akane, who would have had the round in the palm of their hands, ends up activating in a 2 versus 4 when all her teammates had fallen. And that also wasn't a success. So Curralzinho could have just played a full retake there with a player in Palace, but instead so many players died way too early, and the Killers now really in touching distance of overtime. But as mentioned before, Curralzinho has that one final full buy coming in round 24 to try and end Killers in their track and make this comeback all for nothing.
Oh, you hate to see a cosmetic comeback. Give it a moment. Maybe we'll yet see that overtime come to fruition. There's actually a timeout that had come from the Killers as well a couple rounds back that I think was very well timed, very well positioned. And it definitely seems to have made somewhat of a difference to them. And a lot more contacting in these later rounds. Yu has taken so much space though. Unfortunately, I think there's a world in which she just kind of gets caught out here and absolutely put down an MP9 at range. While it can be devastating and deadly. Oh, there it is. She found the angle. She does get traded out, however, but a little bit done there. That's going to give over some information that, all right, nothing is being committed to just yet. I don't know that I love Pack's positioning here. Juliana is right behind her. She has no idea. That's the one rifle they had taken away. And realistically, that should be round. I've been wrong before, but that should be round.
Logic dictates it probably will.
Stranger things have happened.
There's a rifle to be saved in T-spawn, so I imagine that's going to get collected. There you go. AK scooped up.
They could actually go for packs, but I don't know if you should, especially because it's being babysat by Flystyle.
If Cara de Banana and Catty, what do they really have to lose? They've got max loss bonus. They're losing Kevlar. That is not a worry. Cara though is taking a long range duel with a P250. Success.
Okay.
Catty not only retrieves the AK, gets a kill on Flystyle. That part doesn't really matter as much, but the kill with the extra $600, that means Catty's chilling. Yeah, P250 armor, not the end of the world. Catty, however, means that she can drop an AWP and you can then buy just full utility. So Curralzinho are coming into this final round in a perfect position. They have got absolutely everything. Would love to see a tactical pause, to be honest, for them, just to settle the nerves and talk about what they want to do, because this CT side started off amazing. Akane's been the hero. She's had like 3 different multi-kills that have in itself exclusively led to the round win, but she's kind of cooled down since the killers have come back, but there's not been that tactical pause. They're going straight for it. And Cara de Banana, she's really struggled in the last like 6 or so rounds. She's going to go for an aggressive peek at apps, but has been instantly spotted.
Very much do or die here for the killers. They've done so well to claw themselves back into this game. One more round for overtime. One more round to give themselves a chance to steal away their opponent's map pick. Again, quieter on the entry. A little bit of contacting, trying to find that little bit of information. A Molotov there just to force potentially somebody out of position. Give Juliana a chance to peek through, see if she can spot anything. Cara spotted one. Doesn't go for the shot, but it does allow her to back away. So we're seeing a lot more care here from Cara, which is good to see as well. Not going for some of the crazy aggressive stuff that she has previously. Doesn't want to lose her life early unnecessarily. There's a heavy lean over towards this A side at the moment, and maybe giving Cara that glimpse of a player was part of an attempt at a fake, but now the exec util to come through. It's still 3 players strong on this B side. Akane is one of them, and she's been a raid boss for this Curralzinho team up to this point. Now Catty, unseen on the side, you will trade out. Catty, still an unknown position. She's allowed that bomb to get planted. She's allowed herself to go completely unnoticed, waiting for her team to get into position. Pack getting caught out in the worst possible spot. Catty gets the first kill, spots more players, but doesn't get greedy. Knows that there's one in towards Palace, smokes it off, repositions, but gets taken out for her troubles. The last couple of players left alive here. Cara with AWP in hand, checking every angle, trying to allow her teammate the possibility to go for the defuse. Gets the kill. Oh my god, Cara! So close to clutching that. How she gets that second shot, I will never know. But unfortunately, Hera from behind shuts her down, denies that defuse, and we go into overtime.
I had flashbacks. I had a flashback of Bruna de Banana. Sorry, Bruna? I got them mixed up.
Bruna de Banana?
Yeah, Bruna de Banana. Cara de Banana. I had flashbacks of her getting another 1 versus 3, and in what a time it would be to come alive and produce a round like that. But Bruna Killer, I got it correct this time, we're sleeping on her, because from at 12-6, when they won that 2 versus 4, it was because Bruna Killer got a 4K. And guess what? Bruna Killer comes alive with a really important 4K to force it into overtime. She is the main reason that the Killers have got to this point. And at the start of overtime, she's already failed. So for me, this seems like the Curralzinho. It's your prime opportunity to take this and run with it, because the main adversary is out for the count.
Very important opener here for Curralzinho, and very early as well in the round. So it gives them a lot of time to kind of make sure that they've got everything covered. The killers here have to rethink. They're still angling over towards this A site. And again, the A site is pretty heavily guarded. Oh, it's so quiet. Neither one of these teams wanting to give even the slightest bit of information as to where anyone could be. One smoke to come through. Followed up by the molly as well. So a lot of sideline denial, a lot of space denial. But as they begin to push their way in onto the site, unfortunately, Curralzinho just so clean with holding the line. Another uncharacteristic miss from Kara, but that's okay. She's got a teammate right next to her that can make sure that she survives. And now Tamzenia, she was a stand-in, now she's part of the team, and she has to somehow 1v5 when you think about it. And unfortunately, not going to be allowed to do just that. Solid round here from Curralzinho to take the first in overtime.
Couldn't they just do that in regulation?
For real.
And it is a really good sign for Curralzinho that Kara's actually got a kill, because from the point of 12-6 onwards, she was being picked off basically for free every round. She was struggling to have impact. She was struggling to get pen to paper. So her succeeding is a really good sign for the future for Curralzinho as they retake the lead. But momentum still firmly in favor of the Killers, right? They won 6 rounds in a row to push us to overtime. A lot of clutches. So I'd still have them pinned as favorites in this overtime. Kara, she got the opening key on the last, really tries to go for it again, goes for it twice at the exact same peak, lucky to get away with her life, and then gets mollowed.
Kara's really starting to struggle now. I don't know if it's the pressure that's getting to her, or if it's the...
She's just being caught off guard.
I mean, we were saying before, you know, I think she's a really good player, but she does suffer from that little bit of inconsistency that can plague this region from time to time. The rest of her team will step up to bring things into a more doable scenario. 3 versus 3 now. Tamzenia quite low. So she might just be the bait. She's gone for that bomb plant. If she loses her life there, not the end of the world. It's somewhat recoverable. The Molotov to come through. She's caught right on the end of that. You will clean it up. Give them the advantage that they need to now retake. But still, not a ton known about these last few players, Bruna and Hera. If there was anybody you wanted in these final moments, it would be these two. Now, with that little bit of a cross, use position is absolutely telegraphed. A chunky HE to bring her down into a tickling scenario. She'll run straight into Hera's crosshairs, and we go 1 for 1.
Hera plays that round superbly because Akane plays super late on the market crunch. She was allowing for her 2 players up short to take that first contact. She was playing really late, and Hera still expects it, still reads into it. You can see, even though Bruna has taken contact on the 2 players come up short, Hera's fixated on that angle. And I was just talking about Bruna having ice in the veins being the main reason for this successful comeback. Look at that, once again, a 2K to basically win out the round. She might have to step up again though big, because Curralzinho, this is their second opening kill in overtime, and the first one produced their first round win in 7 rounds.
As we get closer and closer to the end here, certain players are definitely stepping up. Do you remember like 7-8 rounds ago when we were like, oh, everybody on Curralzinho is on 9 kills? Pack's on 11 now. She's had a bit of a rough go of the last few rounds, unfortunately. But Akane has picked up that slack in spades. Now Kara coming back into her own a little bit more. Gets that trading kill. Not even trading, sorry, follow-up kill. Gets a second as well. Why would you push her? Yes, she's been having a little bit of a rougher go, but she's still not a player to be trifled with. Go on, girl. Get your third. And that will be the final of the round as Curralzinho bring themselves up to 14. 1 for 1 for 1. Round and around we go. Corral or merry-go-round?
Ooh. I like what you did there. Arcadia player to watch, really stepping up in overtime. Like, we've mentioned it a lot. She had a really tough run of form at the end of regulation. And these first 2 kills are all really impressive. First one's fully blind, so all 3 of them are pretty excellent. First, fully blind. Second, in a Molotov. Third, close range. Finally, she steps up when her team needs her the most, and especially after Kane, who dealt them the majority of gun round wins in regulation on the City side, has massively slowed down since that point. So when she's needed, she answers. Same with you. And now Curralzinho take the lead going onto the T side, where they won the half in regulation 8-4. So reason would dictate that Curralzinho are in the driving seat.
Oh, Kara looking for a pixel there. Unfortunately,
That's a really
not going
good
to be
mollo.
given one. Shuts down that stack entirely, forces them to have to pull back a little bit, and gives Kara a little bit of breathing room as well.
So much damage as well. Like, the whole point of that Molotov was just to block and to interject on their play. And yet she comes away with 100 damage.
Interposing Molotov. Oh, and she still manages to get one onto Flystyle. Akane somewhere else getting a second as well. Kills all over the place here. Advantage the killers. It's in the name, folks. Oh, I see why. I missed that. It was a very aggressive push that gets punished. Now Juliana up close and personal. Oh, completely expected. Akane shuts it down. Yes, Carol will lose her life, but that's okay. She's done what her job was. Create diversion and distraction, get a nice little kill, and allow her team to get onto site. The merry-go-round continues to turn as that bomb will get planted, and with only 2 players left alive here, seemingly unlikely that there's going to be a retake. I'm gonna keep trying though. Gonna give it our all. See if we can do something. Oh, all that utility forcing them into uncomfortable positions here. Smoke in onto the bomb. Hera gets a kill. Haven't been able to tap just yet. There's the tap. Tries to go for the stick. But with 3 players spamming into the smoke, the chances of you being missed are dangerously low. Once again, Curralzinho find themselves on map point.
Curralzinho are all here for the entertainment value. You know, they could have done it in regulation, but instead they decided to have something for the crowd. They play. Sorry, that is a wicked opening kill from Kara. I knew she got the kill on Flystar, but I didn't realize it was on the jump peak. You know, they decided, let's lose a 2 versus 4. Let's get it into overtime. Let's have some fun with this, and then when we get into overtime, we'll shut down all the naysayers. Really, just magnificence from the ponies. That didn't really come off as I wanted it to. But last round, they decided to play a lot more towards the extremities. This round, they're going very heavy in towards middle. Bruna's been ticked in the Molotov. She's been forced forward. And the hero of the killers in overtime has already been smited in arguably the most important round.
Oh, Curralzinho putting on a little bit of a dog and pony show for themselves here. Oh, okay. Oh, looks like the pony's been put out to pasture, folks. Oh, but I say that, Pack. A nice little trade back there brings it to a 2-2. The bomb's been lost. Hera, of course, has to kind of back away a little bit here. Could find herself in a dangerous position. That might allow them, yes it does, it allows them to recover that bomb. And we go back to a more contacty scenario. There's still quite a bit of util here as well for these last remaining Ts. So there's definitely
timing
a
could be weird.
possibility. Timing is weird, no matter how you look at it. I do like that they've set up this. She's made it. She's done it. She survived somehow. So they'll get themselves in onto the. Oh no, that's not the timing I was waiting for. There's no way. Tamazinha steps up when needed to. Not going to be able to deny the plant from going through, but Hera from the back line cleans it up. And, well, that's not going to be the closer that we thought this round might be.
Yeah, that feels rather just disappointing. Pack goes from 0 to hero and then back to 0 again really quickly in round 29. This double she gets in middle after all her teammates has fallen puts it into a 2 versus 2 where you'd place your proverbial money on the killers, but then she just runs into she runs in out in the open and exposes herself to short. For killers, that is potentially a good sign for the future because every time they lose the opening kill, they lose the round. This time, they win the round. So if they want to be forced in for overtime, they've done the heavy lifting because they've won the 4 versus 5, and now they put themselves in a 5 versus 4 while also having 3 players over on this A bomb site ready for the hit.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, I don't know why you run through the smoke like that, but of course they'll take full advantage. You give an inch and they'll take that mile away from you. Very limited on how they can make their way back into this one. Tamazinia again stepping up to continue being a menace. Pack is going to be left all alone. Not the first time that we've seen her in a situation like this, but how much realistically can she do? Unfortunately, not much more. 15 to 15, double overtime. We go again.
We're really mimicking Europe right now, aren't we? We're also saying we'll do it one better. We got tech pauses thrown in there as well. We go again. I really thought that when it was 15-13, Curralzinho had that one in the bag, but it turns out they don't, and it's not because of Bruna Killer. Bruna Killer was the main reason that it was forced into overtime, and in overtime she didn't actually really have any impact at all. That last round was Tamazinia getting an opening kill and then a second with the orb. The first round that I've actually seen her use the orb to some avail. Is that scary for Curralzinho if finally Tamazinia is coming online with the orb?
It's taken a while, but
It's taken 30 rounds.
damn, Freddy. For those of you who don't know, Freddy has absolutely no chill. I find it entertaining, but you know, try not to get too upset.
Oh, it's an entertainment product in the end.
That's true. God forbid somebody misses smoke, guys. We'll never hear the end of it. So far, so good. Tamazinia dodging a lot of that early utility, so she can just kind of hold. Ah, there we go. She'll get flashed off. Has to back away. Juliana still holding on to Palace. Will win that duel. The timing on that is fantastic because she sees the peak just before the flash hits her, so she just kind of hold M1. How she manages to help, well, I suppose she helps with that. A little bit of spam through the smoke. Catty with the Ferrari swing will take down Hera. They've given themselves space on the site here. They've pushed all the way down towards ramp. Bruna is bringing up the rear. Oh my God. I didn't expect her to get that second one, but she does. One final player remaining. And again, it's Pack. And unfortunately, for the second round in a row, not going to be able to make that magic happen.
Bruna really is a natural born killer. Like that round, that 3 versus 3, if she didn't activate when she did, that would have been a Curralzinho round. And it's because of that over-aggression right there from Tamazinia. She leaves Hera very isolated by herself in CT when the Orpa realistically didn't have to aggress like she did into the oncoming execute. Like she could have just played the 5 versus 4 retake, and that would have been completely fine. It would have been a 5 versus 3, actually. So Curralzinho get the opening through having CT spawn control, through having that primary zone, but then Bruna is the reason why it goes in their favor. She's been my GOAT, and it doesn't, 23 and 21, it doesn't look like she's having the best game, but they've been, every time she gets a kill, it feels like it wins them the round. I don't even feel like it does win them the round. Like, there's the most high impact round swing kills.
Really does feel like the pacing has slowed down massively as this map has gone on. Both of these two teams really just kind of fighting to a standstill. It's turning into a bit of a war of attrition. As much as they have utility available to them, it just kind of keeps going back and forth and back and forth. And there we go. A nice little opener here for Tamazinia. Again, giving themselves the advantage that they need. And we slow down. No one else has shown presence. No one else has given away the game just yet. So the onus is still on the killers here to find that space. Or rather, sorry, on Curralzinho to find the space that they need. To find out where the opponents are holed up.
opening kills has been the name of the game. When a team gets an opening kill, 95% of the time in this map, they've won out the round. And it feels like that's going to stay on course because at 19 seconds left, Curralzinho are only just getting into apartments. And as mid gets cleared out, Hera, if she hits this first shot, rotations are going to be so quick. Look, like Flystyle's basically already in the action. She's coming from behind. Zuliana's coming to support Hera. Bomb being planted does not matter. And it will go down, but at the cost of Cara de Banana's life. A nade and a Molotov on the bomb should deny it being defused. Akane, this 1 versus 4 is looking possible. It'd be for the ace as well. Even though she's low HP, this is terrifying, but that's when Bruna, the hero, steps into play and denies any more madness to ensue.
I mean, Madness would definitely, it would have to be Madness. She was so dangerously low HP there. There's 2 players still alive. They know exactly where she is. But if Bruna loses that fight, then honestly, who knows how that goes. A little bit too close for comfort, for certain. But, okay, the Killers certainly stepping up here, bringing themselves up to 17. 1 more round and it's going to put them on map point for the first time. They've always kind of been on the back foot. This is the first time in the entire game that they're actually the ones that are in control, which is a very scary thought. The cosmetic comeback not looking so cosmetic at this point. Oh my god, Cassie just runs it straight down, runs right through, and that's going to allow the space that they need to start moving in on towards the site. Juliana cannot anchor, too much pressure, too many players just barreling over her. The stampede has arrived. With only 2 players left here. Yeah. Guys, how do you keep making this way closer than it has any right to be? I don't know if Hera can 1v3 here. It would be a bit of a tall ask.
Yeah.
But with the way things have gone, it just feels so difficult. You know, you can't count them out.
Yeah, you can never count your chickens too early in this matchup. This is a lifeline for Curralzinho, a very oppressive round. But as you were just saying, this is the first time Killers have had a lead and are in the driving seat since round 3. Since basically the first gun round of the map, Curralzinho has had all the momentum in proceedings. And yet now, in double overtime, they sit on that back foot. Is this lifeline going to amount to something? Or do Killers' momentum on this T side continue into a map win on, as well, Curralzinho's map pick?
How many overtimes are we going to get today? Think we can squeeze 1 more in on this map?
All the overtimes. All the maps.
Overtimes.
No sleep for production.
Poor Newt still has to cast NA after this.
And all of a sudden, I'm not being hired for ESL Impact anymore.
Yeah, production just yelled at Freddy. You guys couldn't hear it. I could. It was glorious.
It's been nice knowing you guys.
You know what? We had a run.
We had a good
wow,
run.
he just got by Felician as well.
Yeah.
Oof. It's rough out here.
Oh, this is a scary round. There is 2 defenders on the B-bomb site. All of short controls in favor of the Killers, and they have also not been spotted. The closest rotation is Akane in window. Last time this happened, you and Pat got 1 kill together, and Akane had to get a 4K to win the round. Can you and Pat do better than that?
Bro, Hera just continues to be... How does she get away with her life? That's insane, but she's creating a bit of a distraction. However, Pac will not be distracted. Holy, beautiful setup here as they start pushing through the window. A nice little crossfire setup shuts down all attempts of ingress onto the site. And, well, that's all she wrote.
They're going to get all the kills.
Is
This
it all she
B-bomb
wrote?
site, yeah, this B-bomb site has held lock and key. Okay, Pac does get 4 of the kills, but Yu's presence and the 1 kill she got on the short players coming up is also monumental. So the fact that Hera, as you were saying, 32nd kill, may I? Oh, so that was the 31st kill, this one. The fact that she gets this kill and survives, I'm surprised that Curralzinho don't then rotate away and bite. They don't. They don't chomp down on the bit. They wait patiently for this B execute. And I was saying that last time, they didn't hold. This time, they do it all by themselves.
Oh, you. Oh my God, bro. She was in such a good spot. How does she not get even one? That's a devastating start to the round. But it does give them information, so rotations can start to come in. It doesn't matter. Flystyle has carved a path through the site and has made any attempt at a retake damn near impossible at this point. I don't want to be too harsh, man, but that...
Yeah.
It felt like that was just you kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because...
Yeah.
That was such a great read. Yu's been normally starting as the short player, so she's been going from the B-bomb site. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the first or second time that she's been boosted into ladder straight off the bat. So she's put herself in this great advanced position that the killers would not expect her to be in because they would have seen someone running into ladder. So they're thinking no one's in ladder. The second player actually does check it, but that shouldn't matter. You should have at least got 1 or like survived. The fact that she gets nothing puts Pac in this just basically impossible situation where there's Molotovs everywhere around her. There's 3 different angles peeking her at once. So from hero from hero to 0, that B bomb site. They get Curralzinho on 17, and then potentially the reason why the killers might win out on Mirage. A tactical pause coming out for Curralzinho, one that I asked for on round 23. We're going to get it on round 35 at least. But, I mean, we're in the second overtime. I think this is the 5th overtime already today. Why not a 6th?
Yes. You've had first overtime. You've had second overtime. What about 6th overtime? The Hobbits would be proud. And there is a world where after everything that Curralzinho has done to flip the script on this first map, there is a world in which the killers steal this round away. Now, Hera's on a scout, which is... Okay. Never mind. Not a scout. That's an AK. I was baited. These things do have... Oh, my God, Kara. Oh, how can you do that
opening
to them?
Kill. It's going to happen. Oh. Literally every time a team gets an opening kill, they win the round par 1, I think, in the last, like, 15 rounds. So...
Statistically, that should be the case. But, again... You never.
Do you remember last time Catty was in Firebox?
I was about to say the same thing, bro. The last time Catty was in this spot. Oh, Lord. It
didn't go too well. And she doesn't have the support like she did last time. Last time, so many people were taking contact for her. This time, Curralzinho are congregated towards controlling middle, taking that control, and then stepping up a retake into connector. No one's clearing her. No one's looking for her. Oh my God. They clear her, and now the retake is forced forward, but it's all going wrong. They were in a perfect position, and once again, Catty fumbles from Firebox. Cara de Banana, she's got 2 kills in the round. Pac, she's been amazing as a B anchor. Can they retake over towards this A bomb site? There's 3 flashes, and that's it. Cara hits a clean, quick scope. She hits a second. We're going to a 3rd overtime, and it's because of Cara de Banana.
Kara, how have you done this again? How does she keep stepping up in the most unreasonable scenarios to bring her team back into some sort of contention? And this is really big because before we went live today, we were chatting about the roster and about some of the players and about how Kara has been around for a while, and we're just never sure what to expect from her on any given day. And I was talking about the fostering new talent and raising them up, and And the fact that she's doing that, she's raising new talent, but she's also being this incredible pivot piece round after round in such important moments. She gives them a lifeline, a moment to breathe a sigh of relief. Now, this round could go anyway. It was looking like it was going to be a killer's round, but somehow Pack has managed to... Bro, what?
She's the Bianca GOAT. That's the second time in
Get
like...
a 4K?
Yeah, that's the second time in 4 rounds that she's got a 4K as a Bianca. Like, you know, she wasn't... She technically won the round to get into the third overtime because she stuck the defuse. So she's had a phenomenal impact. After, if I'm not mistaken, we called her out because going into overtime, she was on like 11 kills and we were saying at the half, oh, look, everyone's on 9 kills. And then Pac just didn't really have any impact. Now she sits on 26, the second highest in Curralzinho. And when it comes to impact, I think it cannot be understated.
Much like Tamazinia, it took a while for her to activate, but she has overshot. Oh my God. Round 38 and only 14 kills is rough. She's having a very rough go of it, unfortunately. And I know that Hera is like sitting on 34 kills, and that kind of makes up for some of that flack. But I think that, or some of that slack rather, but I think that it's part of maybe what has been a contributing factor. You know, I think that if Tamazinia is matching the rest of her team, if she's putting up similar numbers to her team, to Curralzinho, maybe they close things out, you know, a little bit earlier on when they had that map point scenario. Maybe there's a world, but it doesn't do to dwell on the past, as Dumbledore once said.
We're getting all the references today.
We really are, man. You know what? When you get 30 rounds of Counter-Strike in one map, you're going to get every reference that you could dream of. You know, even the ones you couldn't dream of. They're all coming out of the woodwork. I'm
disappointed, though, that you've strayed away from the animal jokes.
Have I? I literally made a putting out to pastures joke, which I felt
that was actually
kind of dark, but...
That was actually a really goated call.
Thank you. I was a bit worried that it was, you know. I mean, I was going to go even worse, but I thought maybe we leave that for the post-stream breakdown. You don't want to get too unhinged.
We could get
this is a nip and cal, you know.
We could get the lambs to the slaughterhouse.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'll be honest, I was going to go with Glue Factory because horses, but I thought that might upset you. You see, I was right. It would upset you.
Not my horses.
All right, Pac has just instantly died, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Oh,
Hera,
Akane might follow. No.
kills.
Akane doesn't follow. In fact, Katie evens it out a little bit. And yeah, I mean, Hera's the goat. What can I say? No, the footsies. Oh, the toesies. Tamazinia, that's a free kill for her. She needs the stats. She'll say thank you kindly, madam. Lifestyle's going to get caught out in mid there. No support, nothing to kind of block those sight lines. But they're doing really good, laying down the utility, stopping that force from coming through. You will fire down and spray through Hera, bringing it to only 2 players left here. Catty in prime position, but gets taken down. Tamazinia, she heard me. She heard what I was saying, and she said, you know what? Hold my monster. Kara Banana now holding on the line. Not going to be the one to get the shot. It's going to be you. Creates the distraction that Kara needs. Now Kara going to go for a bit of a reposition with that op shot being heard. She doesn't want to be too telegraphed. And HE to follow just in case there was any sort of a shenanigan happening. She's not going to move all the way around. Instead, she's going to double back. The sound of the scope could be the end of the line here for her. As time starts to tick away. Oh my God, the timing, but Kara's just better. The quick scope to end it all. The diffuse to come through. 20 points on the board here for Curralzinho. Back in the driving seat, back at the ranch, and looking to gallop through to victory. Although, it wouldn't be the first time I've said that, so...
Yeah.
Pinches.
Yeehaw! It's like... What's great about this is Cara Banana misses like 3-2 quite easy shots. Like, you know, she's on like too tight of an angle. They run past. She takes a shot a little bit late. And then, of course, hits the flick quickscope headshot. It's like, okay, okay. But Unsung Goat, whoa. Hello. I think that was Akana getting, you know, the pop-offs are real, but use like the GOAT of that round. And we've been kind of harping on about maybe her struggling over towards the B-bomb site, but she gets both players in towards middle and knows Hera, that second one, is still going to be there because she got that opening kill on Akana, on Pac on B app. So even though Cara wins out the round, you sets her up perfectly. And now Curralzinho are looking for a flawless CT side, and that is a great way to start. Pac, what a grenade.
Chunky nade there. Oh, and Cara, not even on one of the low HP players. She's just gonna keep that ball rolling. They've cleared out the entirety of A to mid, so they know that it's gonna have to be this B hit. So Curralzinho ready and waiting for it to happen. Pac does die in the fire and the flames. The anchor gets taken out, but that's okay. Reinforcements are here, ready and available. Unfortunately, Catty gets taken down. You quickly to follow. 2 versus 2 now, but Curralzinho much better equipped in terms of the health department. One feather blown in the right direction is all it's gonna take now. Bruna with dangerously low health. Very little to work with in this final moment. Has to defend that bomb, and unfortunately, Cara, be it an AWP, be it an AK, she is ready to get those impactful kills, bringing them up to 21. Once again, for the 3rd time, folks, they find themselves on map point. Can they actually take it home this time?
It's the best position they've been in since regulation, and it's the same names are the reason why. The B defense holding true, allowing for the rotations, and then Cara Banana being that final nail in the coffin to finally subdue the killers. This has been a marathon of a map, but surely it comes to an end as we are approaching round 40. We're in a 3rd overtime. Curralzinho, this is their, like, I don't know, 9th map point, maybe? They've got another 3 as well. They had 6 in regulation. They had 1 or 2 in this overtimes, and now they've got 3 more to work with on their T side. This is where they produced a better result in regulation. Surely they're able to at least win one of these rounds.
Very gentle reminder that this is still map 1.
We've still got a whole nother region to play after this.
No, I saw Apples in the chat earlier. NA's cancelled. It's all South America today. No, definitely not. But that would be quite funny. NA is certainly delayed. If you've arrived here thinking, hang on, where's the NA game? It's going to be a while. Get comfortable. We're going to be here for a good long while yet. Bruna's spidey sense is tingling there a little bit. The flash to come through doesn't catch anything, doesn't give her anything, but she gets a little bit of information here. Oh, the barrage of utility catches her off guard. She's going to get shut down. That's going to open up a bit of a pathway here, but Tamazinia, she has really started to step it up. That's what I was saying that they needed, but is it too little too late? They've traded 1 for 1, blow for blow, but haven't really garnered much space or ground. But with Catty getting that kill, they now have no congestion on the site. They still have to be aware of Tamazinia with this AWP, but at least they should be able to get themselves into a good position here. The bomb will get planted, and it's all about these post plants. Unfortunately, they are somewhat corralled on the site, living up to the name a little bit here. Juliana in a good position. Tamazinia, oh my god! No, they don't clear her. She gets 2! And that... I'm sorry, I'm self-destructing ever so slightly. Yes, we go again. A state of execution once more for the killers.
That was an impossible retake. That should never have been won. All they had to do was just trade out in Giuliano and then just not allow for the CT players to get picks. Like, Curralzinho there are going for aggression in jungle and then trying to fight the CT players. Just everyone, the bomb's planted for jungle con, just play towards there. You had Catty come through mid. You know mid's clear and con's clear. Just play your post plants there, but instead they give away those kills scot-free, and that feels like a bit of a big fumble, not gonna lie, and it's given killers a way in. And every time in this overtime, a team has been allowed a morsel of space, they've run with that.
Oof. Okay, we've gone a bit of space in towards mid here. Bro, the sheer amount of utility that's being thrust into mid as they battle for that control. No one has taken it. It's all smoke and mirrors. Tamazinia has now taken a advanced position. We've seen Kara in this one a few times. She had been punished for it previously. So perhaps Tamazinia can get some good results here. Waiting for a shoulder, an elbow, a toe, something. Oh, slide straight past her, the electric slide, forcing her off of her position and further back. That's going to call a reinforcement rotation. But there's still time here for the killers to pivot away if they so choose. And yes, the bomb is making its way down towards lower, moving its way over towards this A side. Catty trying to clear it out, spots the first player, gets that kill over. Now they have two to contend with, but Juliana, oh my god, she gets flashed out, but that's okay because her position still hasn't been clocked. Now Catty thinks she's cleared the site completely, calls the information in, will get punished for it, but not before she gets one of her own. Flystyle now on the line, on the hook, Tits taken down. Still numbers advantage in favor of the killers. It gets pulled back. Hera being an absolute hero here. 1-1. Is this where it all ends? Where it all crumbles? Sprays down. And somehow we keep the wheel turning.
Will it ever end? I think there was 3 different times there on the A bomb site that the killers had a player in a position where Curralzinho didn't know about it. Juliana the first, great trade from Catty. And then Hera sneaks her way through, drops the bomb, and then just survives. Half a second between continuing overtime and success. This is a big change of pace. Curralzinho, it worked in regulation, but this time they are being mowed down as they try and attempt to come through onto this A bomb site like lambs sent to the slaughterhouse. Cara de Banana, they know her position. Molotovs raining in, smoked off a 1 versus 4 that is truly unwinnable, and a 3-round lead. 21-19. They had 3 opportunities, including the 6 they had in regulation and the multiple other chances they've had in overtime, have all been thrown into the gutter. A 4th overtime is now upon us.
The funniest part, Juliana and I had like the exact same expression at the end of that round. Like both of us, hands on the back of our chairs, leaning back like, oh, bro, what? You know what? I think that this was just a case of South America going, Europe, anything you can do, we can do better. 4 overtimes. We will not stop at 3. We will continue. This game will last forever. It's all about the CT rounds. Neither one of these teams giving an inch when they find themselves on the defensive line. But eventually something is going to have to give. Somebody's going to get tired. Somebody is going to make a mistake. But as of yet, it has not happened. So around and around we go. Where we stop.
They've had 11 map points, by the way. 11.
They already have 21 points. That's insane.
They've had
bro.
6 in regulation in a row, obviously, actually. And then 5 in overtime. In OT1, they were 15-13. And then just there, they were 21-19. This is actually one of the biggest banes of an inexperienced team. And it was what you mentioned right in regulation of just trying to get it done a little bit too early. Can't quite finish their pudding. And now they're just completely reset. On this T side, they are going to go out to this A bomb side. Will they ever expect Bruna Killer in Palace? All her support is being shut down. So Bruna Killer is very isolated because of Carrot Banana's performance in middle. And Bruna Killer also gets nothing. Once again, couldn't they just do it 3 rounds ago?
That's crazy, man, because they always get that final round 3 rounds too late.
It's happened every time. Every time, like it was in when it got forced to overtime the first time. They won the first 2, I'm pretty sure, in a row, and then it just happened right here again.
I will say, not finishing my pudding, cannot relate.
No.
No. Hera chilling on 39 kills as well.
Yeah, she's been a real dark horse.
Wrong team.
Good old Z-Slapper.
Okay, quick trades there. Faststyle finding that open, but very quickly getting taken out. Oh my god, Tamazinia.
There was no smoke grenade, and then she just goes, okay, fine, I'll peek anyways.
Oh man, my anxiety was through the roof there for a second. But she makes the right call. Quick peek and then bye-bye. Kane position completely unpredicted. Maybe they thought with the nade coming through there, there's no way somebody would have stuck around. I don't know. But she'll take it.
Yeah, the flashbang was kind of supposed to hit her and it didn't. So now Akane is a real thorn in the side of the Killers. They will finally deal with her, but then Carrot Banana also shows presence with the bomb. Why has she got the bomb by herself? She needs to get out. Oh, Bruna Killer just dropped the bomb. And look at where Curralzinho are. Catty's top mid. Pack is over on A ramp. So the bomb's now underpass. It's not directly being held for. So Catty could have an opportunity to pick it up. And there's the first. Will she expect Bruna Killer? They have to know she's here because she was the one who dropped the C4, and they will. 20 seconds left though. Is there enough time? They need to really get a move on. And Tamazinia, if she goes through jungle, she could deny, but it looks like that wriggle room has been gifted. The bomb should get planted, but Tamazinia so close on the approach. They don't expect her. She gets the first, and as soon as that bomb goes down, she shuts it up. 1 versus 2 to once more even up this scoreline.
I love that Tamazina just kind of cosplays Carrot Banana there for a hot second. Did she just... Huh. She dropped the AWP and saved the AK instead.
Yeah, well, CT side, like, they'll be able to purchase up the AWP anyways. So the AK kind of has that that power, right? You want to be having an AK over his M4. You can get the AWP anyways. It's like, you know, a nice gift for one of her riflers. Who's it go to? Of course, Hera. Hera 39 and 24. I'm quite happy to see it because it's last round. They have an AWP anyways. But now Hera is going to be unstoppable, even more than she already is.
How terribly thoughtful of her. Ooh, Kara! I don't know if that molly was worth it, but
yeah,
I mean, she got it out.
Well, but remember last time she threw that, she got 100 damage. So
That's
it was like,
true.
But then fool me once, shame on me. Fool me thrice, shame on you. Wait, other way around. This is what 4 overtimes does to a man.
I mean, I was going to say that I think fatigue is setting in for the teams. It might be setting in for Freddy as well. He's still a wee bab, so, you know.
Surely that should means I have more energy.
No, because babbies need naps.
Oh, yeah. I have a nap between the halves, don't worry.
Honestly, I might. All right, here we go. Exec to come through.
Oh,
Down
they
in
mullet
onto...
themselves.
Okay. Cassie, bit of a cheeky one there, but it does look like Curralzinho coming out on top of most of these battles. 3 versus 2. The last 2 players still have to make their way in, and they would have been called. Their positioning, all of them would have been spotted as they made their way through mid. So should be somewhat telegraphed and televised. This is where they are. The triangle has been set up. Pack to get the first. Who will get the final one? And of course, it'll be Akane. They'll bring our horses up to 23. Getting ever closer. We'll swap sides once again. Do they get to map point for a 4th time?
Oh, it'd be a 12 time.
No, well, you know what I mean. Like get to, like the actual action of getting to, not
get
holding.
to. Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see. Dude, we're in a 4th overtime. The rule book's been chucked out the window, stamped on, burnt. A few horses have run over it. I don't know anymore. No one knows anymore. Akane, though, like Cara de Banana and Akane at the whole of Curralzinho, we were complimenting their cohesion when it comes to the fragging department at the half. Like 30 rounds ago, and yet 30 plus rounds ago, and yet we still stood in a position where in round 46, apart from Catty, they're all pretty even. Surprised they haven't closed it out yet, to be honest. But now
I'm surprised someone hasn't.
Yeah, surprised someone just hasn't. Curralzinho on the CT side, and Akane's just got a wealth of information that no one is aggressive out in middle. So she's seen from connector, no one's there. All's utility was kind of in vain, and now they've gone silent. They're gonna go towards a site. The question is, which site? And as Curralzinho completely clear out middle, there's 2 players on short, so that means Pac has close allies, and she's just spotted them out. Those 2 short players need to get a move on. Oh no.
Oh, okay. We trade. Everybody's running through the fire and the flames here, trying to find that positioning. Pac again, the anchor, the rock star anchor that she has been. Unfortunately, this time around, only good for 2. Kara now. Okay, I thought she might be going for a reposition there, but no, just shoots out the boards, giving herself a potential exit strategy if needed. Akane moving her way in here, spots out the first in fly style, brings it to 2 versus 2, but Kara gets caught out and Akane's position is known. Very little that she's going to be able to do here. The HE to come through, oh, just off of its mark. So only does a tickle of damage, spots out the leg. Is she aware of the player up in apps? Is it going to make a difference? She's just run over Hera. Holy crap, Akane! Look at her, bro! Look at her! Bro, she's my spirit animal, I swear.
How?
Guys, you guys can't see me. I looked exactly like she did. We all just losing our minds in that moment. What a god.
The fact she also had like 4 bullets. I want to see the replay to see how many bullets exactly she had when she did that transition. This is the 1 versus 3 basically that she does all by herself. 6 bullets. Just boom. It's just, this is her first ever ESL Impact game. She's 39-25. She's had more quad kills than I can even count. What is going on? By the way, they've hit it for a 4th time.
They have. But can they close it out? Oh my. You know what? The fact that it's the Molly that gets the final. U is down. We know what we've been saying about opening kills all this time.
We're at 4th overtime. That does not matter anymore.
I don't know, man. 5th overtime incoming.
Akane being alive is surely on the 12th time of asking. Surely.
Ooh.
There's 3 players A. The killers are going A. Cara de Banana's here. Akane's here. They've got all the right pieces, and that's the opening kill. Akane gets to go to 40.
All right, we've 1 for 1 now as they start making their way in. We're still going to be trading. Nobody finding a footing just yet. Cara to get hers. She'll slip away. She'll be able to survive a little bit longer, dancing on the edge of the smoke, looking for that next player to peek through. Bomb is down on site. Needs to be recovered. Waiting for reinforcements. Hera has to come basically from Narnia at this point. The flash to come through to try and assist in recovering that lost bomb. And as the bomb is recovered, Cara fires the shot through. Hera now all alone against the world. 1 versus 3 for yet one more stay of execution. One more opportunity to bring this back into a winnable scenario. Time not on her side. She goes for the fight. She gets the first, but unfortunately, she will be cut down in the final moments. 4 opportunities multiplied by a factor of who knows how many. But Curralzinho, they actually do make it happen. They close it in that 4th overtime. They win their map pick against the odds, and they take the series up to 1-0. What a phenomenal performance from them.
It's week 1. It's week 1. Okay, so it did take them 12 different separate map points across 4 different overtimes. But of course, the time they get it done is when they're in a player disadvantage. When it's a 4 versus 5, they make the right read. Cara de Banana, who in regulation was really struggling over towards that top connector position, gets a double kill. Akane goes to 40. All the right pieces connect at the right time. So many clutches, specifically from that Curralzinho side. At every single juncture, they had a clutch that was ever so important as the one prior. Times that she didn't do well on the CT side, which is kind of the main exhibition we had of her. Like, everyone else died around her. It's like, what do you really expect someone to do when there's 4 players charging down on you? So yeah, superbly impressed. But all I'm hearing from you is just cope by your prediction. You're like, oh, it's going to go to a 3rd map, guys. Sorry, NA fans. Yeah, we get it. You're just trying to save your prediction.
Okay, Freddy. You know what? For those that don't have the lore, Freddy loses to me in predictions every single
because
time.
Because I go for the vibes.
Sure. Also, quickly, while we're in the pistol round, happy birthday, Affinity. She does a lot of the NA casting.
Oh.
Lovely, lovely member of the ESL Impact squad. So from all of us, happy birthday. Chat, please throw her a happy birthday. I know she's there lurking. And with that, let's jump into the action.
Happy birthday to... Sorry.
No. There we go. Akane is going to play happy birthday with the dualies. Getting 2 opening frags there before she's eventually traded out. Oh, but they'll still be able to get a bomb plant here. That's pretty cool in and of itself. Repositioning back to, well, the back of site. Pack bringing up the rear here. Oh my god, stray bullet connecting beautifully. Now it's a bit of a pistol duel. She's trying to just hold on to the attention as long as possible. Her teammates get into position. You gets the final shot out. And that will be a quick and easy defuse for Curralzinho.
You asked, and you shall be rewarded. You wanted the new young bloods to continue their form onto Ancient, not be it a flash in the pan? There you go. Akane gets the first 2 kills. Pack gets an ever so important frag on towards back lanes, and then also just survives, which is a really undervalued piece. Like what she does there, she gets the kill and then just waits. She waits for her 2 players who are coming up from cave and ramp to get into the action, and then she also comes forward. This map, after 4 overtimes, if someone gets an early lead, that's going to be the difference maker. And so far, Curralzinho are in that driving seat. They're looking to park their car into a formidable early lead. And this would have been a flawless mid-take from the Killers if you hadn't got a double. So this is a 3 versus 3 where the Killers, they could have had so much more, and now they're boxed into having to commit through towards A, but they do break through. Cara de Banana drops, but as soon as she does, Akane is able to get one just as that smoke blooms, and it's all falling apart for the Killers. They had that A bomb site, but they weren't able to fortify themselves, and now Tamanzinia, who had a really rough Mirage, she did get a 1 versus 2 in that 4th overtime. She's gonna have to replicate that right here, right now.
Unfortunately, she's in a really tight spot. She's still got some time to play with, but realistically, she doesn't have a lot of options. If she tries to push through towards B, she's going to run into both of them. If she tries to double back, she's going to run through their crosshairs. So she doesn't really have too much to get done here. There is a world in which she just kind of chills and just holds on to the FAMAS. But no, oh, here we go. She's going to start pushing out, trying to slip the needle somewhat. The timing on this could be insane. Oh my god, she's gotten in behind them, but they're expecting it. Oh, the labored spray and Catty to shut it down. Now, I just want to double back on something you said, Freddie, because I am very disappointed in you.
Wait,
Yes.
what? What have I done?
You said Curralzinho were going to park their car. Take a moment.
Oh,
They're horses.
no.
What could you have gone with?
No. He was
Devastated.
low-hanging fruit. This is normally what I'm
Devastated.
good at. The lack of nuance and the really easy joke. That's my thing.
Oh, buddy. That's
The
okay.
1 a.m. vibes have come out. Oh, speaking
Get
of
him
1 a.m.
next time.
vibes, screw it. Rush B with Tech 9s. If in doubt, just charge up. And hello, says Akane. 5-1. this is 6-1. She's having a pretty decent start to things, and that is terrifying for the Killers. On the duality of that, Hera chilling on a 0-3 scoreline.
I don't know how Bruna gets a second one there. I'll be honest, that's kind of outrageous.
But she clicks the mouse and says, "God, take the wheel."
Basically. And he did, in fact. Not enough to help her clutch out a round, because that would have been a little bit ridiculous. But there you go. A little bit of extra damage done there. A little bit of extra cash in the back pocket. Not terribly much, but we take what we can get in these situations. Curralzinho bring themselves up to 3. The Killers now having to battle their way back into this. A full buy in hand. Good mid control here from Curralzinho. The Killers have positioned themselves quite nicely, spreading out a little bit, allowing a lot of that utility to come through. They've dodged a lot of that potential early damage, which in and of itself is a good start. After taking that very quick mid control, Curralzinho just backed right the hell off. So it's given a lot of space over to the Killers here. They're going to start making their way in through Jaguar. Waiting for the right moment. Catty not given the opportunity to throw down whatever she wanted to, and forced out of her position as well. Flash over through, slows things down ever so slightly. Oh my God, Akane. She just walks straight through, gets the kill, survives that little bit longer, continuing to pepper. Catty backs her up, but Catty will lose her life, and the bomb will get planted here. 3 players left alive. You can set up a strong triangle with this, but it has to be perfect. Can't really afford to make any mistakes here. They've given themselves good positioning. But 4 players
Look how far
alive.
the rotations are, though. Look how far away you and Kara is, and that smoke just come down on shorts.
It's going to slow things down massively here, and some aggressive pushing as well from the Killers. They really want to try and stop this attempt in its tracks, deny any space. Hera does exactly what she needs to do. Bruna on side gets her double. Pack, however, continuing to be an absolute demon. She's just going to stick it. She's just going to hold it. Hera, you have to push. You have to do something.
Oh my
and
God.
she doesn't,
What?
bro. How have you allowed that?
Actually, okay, Pack 1v3s, I guess. But the issue is, great round from Pack. All we're focusing on is Hera, the insane whiff. She runs out of bullets coming around the corner, and then also just doesn't push in time. There was no time for the bomb to be restuck. If she just pushed on the tap, she wins that round. So Curralzinho have been gifted a 4-0 lead after very poor communication on the B-bomb side, a very lumbered rotation, just all in all, a really difficult first gun round. And yet, Pack, one of the 2 new bloods, alongside Akane, they're doing absolutely everything right now.
I'm going to say the line, but pros don't fake.
I don't think she had time to fake.
Even there, yeah. That's a fair point.
But hey, pros don't fake.
Pros don't fake. Kara's on 0-3 at the moment. Hasn't really had a chance to step up.
She's really struggled, picked off on A, bad rotations. She's had a rough run of form so far.
Well, so is Flystyle, right? So can't read too much into that just yet. Orb in hand now for Kara,
though.
though.
4 rounds.
Yeah.
She's
Holding
been
on to that
staged by the
smoke.
new blood. The new gen have done it all so far.
Continuing to do so. As much as 2 of the players have actually played in previous seasons, they're still relatively new. So I'll keep giving them their flowers for their performances here. Kara will finally get one, but unfortunately does eventually get traded out. The pronged maneuver from the Killers paying dividends here. Another round where they do manage to get that bomb planted, but it's another round where they have to hold the line. This time around, not at a player disadvantage. So there's certainly more opportunity here. Bruna Killer's position so important, and unfortunately, that is a big linchpin taken away. Now, the last 2 players hold up together in Donut, have to play off of one another perfectly. There is a smoke here for the bomb, for the tap potentially. The flash to come through to slow things down ever so slightly, trying to bait these players out. Unfortunately, damage done, but could not confirm. These retakes from Curralzinho have been nasty.
they've really saved the day, because that's 2 rounds in a row where the bomb site anchors haven't really done their job. If we look over at the round towards B, both of the B anchors smoke ramp and just allow for the contact to come out through cave. We look at this round, Cara Banana does great for her kill. Pax fighting aggressively towards A main. Like, you've got 2 players just completely separated. This retake I never thought was possible, but it's saving the day. But it's keeping Curralzinho's money on a knife's edge. So the killers, because the bomb down and because of the loss bonus, they're going to buy back up. 1 round here spirals the economy for the CT side.
Yeah, even with the changes to CT economy, you still have to be very careful. It was helped, it was not saved. So gotta maintain. And obviously with how close so many of these rounds have been, makes it that much harder to build up momentum. At Molly not quite landing where they wanted it to, so Pack doesn't get forced out. Doesn't garner them the space that they wanted. Again, they've taken back that mid control and have started angling over towards B. Haven't cleared it out just yet. And Curralzinho playing the same kind of retakey style that they have been. They're not taking aggressive positioning unnecessarily. They get forced back ever so slightly. So, of course, the killers are going to be able to start making their way in on towards the site. But Bruno Killer's been taken down. Flystyle very quick to follow, unfortunately. This time around, they might not get that bomb planted. Although, as I say that, Juliana bites back. And it looks like these... yeah, I could go with the analogy here. The dogs actually do have teeth. They'll bite back. And again, a 3 versus 3 retake. And so often, this does still go in favor of Curralzinho. And it looks like this round will be no different. However, Hera survives just that semblance longer, making things possible. And Pack this time around will not be allowed the shenanigans that she has of the past. When Juliana is the last one alive, she'll do what Hera could not. She'll clutch the round, she'll yoink the AWP, and she'll finally put one on the board for the killers.
And that's the money broken. That's exactly what I was talking about. And this is a really disappointing round of all to lose, because even though those B-side players got pushed back, they were still both able to pick up a killer piece, go into that 5 versus 3. And even though we've been heralding these retakes and putting them in a high regard, this one super messy, super late on the rotation. And when the majority got into position, players, it was already a 3 versus 3. Why is it put into a 3 versus 3 before everyone's already there? Why is Catty overextending on short? And then also, when the retake was happening, the AWP goes out first and the rifle has util out. Super messy. And even though it's come down to the wire and they've succeeded in the last 3 or so rounds, this time it just didn't quite feel the same. And look at it, that economy. You've got 3 MP9s, an A1S, a Scout, and really no util, and also no kits.
It's crazy to think about after 5 consecutive round wins that it can be broken so easily, but that again highlights the importance of keeping the rounds as clean as possible. Now, the killers finally have a solid opportunity. And they will take that with both hands. There you go. And they're going to run away with it. Taking that off the board. Kara not going to be a contingent into this. Still have 2 players towards site, though. One of which does have an M4. Akane, a lot on her shoulders here. Unfortunately, she does get taken down. Flystyle on the board now as well. And yeah, these last 2 players, the really devastating part, I think, here is truly... No, never mind. She's going up towards Red Room. I thought she was going to, like, flank up through short, but she's looking for lurks on the other side of the map here. Not going to be given the opportunity to find that kill. It may yet even be Hera who does so. If she doesn't get punished by this MP9. A little bit of extra money here could be good. Oh, and there you go. Juliana comes back, shuts it out, and Pack... again, left the last one left alive. It's happened so many times. She's only got 3 deaths because she's so consistently one of the last remaining players alive and has to find herself in a clutch scenario. She's done it once, but unfortunately it looks like that will be the only time for now. And the killers will go up to 2.
I said at the very beginning of this map that if a team runs away with this first half, they're probably just going to win out the map. And the issue is, even though Curralzinho did that, they went 5-0 up. They didn't build any sort of economy or stabilization. They didn't have that round where they played against the Glocks and got all 5 alive or whatever. It was never easy sailing for them. So because of that, even though they had that early lead, it's about to be a 5-3 scoreline. And Curralzinho going onto a gun round where the AWP's not going to be out, Util's going to be difficult with a 2400 loss bonus, and it's still very much up for contention where this first half ends.
So this round, very much a foregone conclusion. A little bit of extra damage done. Oh, surely
If
not.
she'd got that, if Pac had got that kill, it would have been a 2 versus 2 with the bomb down in A main. I was watching, I was like, wait, oh, no way, right?
I love how every time I call around a foregone conclusion, some crazy shenanigan happens just to throw me off balance, you know? Not enough to actually flip the script, but just enough to be like, wait, you can't count anybody out just yet. Sit down, shut up, watch the game. Right? Sorry, universe. I will take that note under advisement. It's only a 2-round deficit now, but Curralzinho have guns again. This is going to be a really important round for them to kind of pull back the reins and get into a slightly better position for themselves. Again, very early utility here for that control towards mid, slowing down any aggressive rushes. But they've burnt the vast majority of what they had available into this round. It's all going to be about the stall now, as far as possible. Can they shut down these sight lines? Can they get an opening kill here to pivot off of?
Sneaky. This is sneaky.
Okay. Just instantly traded out. But we'll continue to go back and forth. Another potential 3v3 retake here. Bomb's not planted. Catty's still alive, so she will play hard anchor. Gets that first kill. Gives pause because the bomb does get lost. Fly style, however, on that wild flanking mission does make things a little bit more doable. Kara's position is known. Kara locks it down. When you need her to, we said this so many times on Mirage, but when you need her to, she will step up. Curralzinho to 6.
Flystar was in such a great position over towards Red Room, but she just needed her attackers on that B bomb site to make space, and they just never really do. So even though Flystar gets this kill, cuts off the rotation, it's just a lock and key hold from Kara to Banana and Catty. Akane, not needed. Pac, not needed. There's so much depth on this Curralzinho roster, and they get back straight on the board as they pick up those rifles.
You is just unreasonable, man. She's been able to do in so many of these rounds. All right, A site. Easy to take, but it has been difficult to hold. Ooh, nice shot there from Tamazinia. Does get traded back, however.
Oh, okay.
No, guys, come on. We've just left Donut entirely unguarded, everythinged. There's nothing there to hold back. Not hiding behind any pieces of cover. Nothing, really. And Bruno gets left all alone. No bomb planted. No space to take. No saving grace around the corner. She'll be good for 1, but she's dangerously low now, and surely the call is to just back away.
I just simply put, don't really know where the util went for the killers there. Like, they get out on that A bomb site with 3 players, and there's not a single smoke. There's like 1 mollo that got used towards CT. And they didn't have to get the bomb down when they did, because Bruna Killer was on that lurk. They could have just waited, got her into Donut, and then planted for Donut. But instead, they tried to just overplay it a little bit. And even though Bruna has got 1 hit, surely 15 HP, there's no way. And yeah, Catty, that's back-to-back double kills from her in really important scenarios. That's Curralzinho going to 7. And after a really difficult run of form. They're yet to actually win a gun round comfortably because it's always been like 1 or 2 alive. Yet they're sitting 7-3 up. The Killers are put onto a low purchase in the penultimate round of this half. And Curralzinho, I guess that early runaway was enough, even though I kind of thought that they didn't have as enough runway. They've at least guaranteed a win in this half.
Yeah, I'm kind of having flashbacks to the MIBR game yesterday, you know, where the scoreline... I don't know if this is a rut. Okay, it might be a rut-row. It might be a rut-row. I wasn't convinced at the start, but we've recovered a rifle. Hera's dangerously low HP, though. All right, so Hera's going to hold the smoke, waiting for someone to push through here.
They're retaking together, which is a really good sign that Catty didn't just tunnel vision into Donut, but comes and joins Akane and plays this 2v2.
There's still much to be done here. They do still have one kit moving in together as a unit. But both of these Killers players are ready and waiting. Hera around the box, around the outside, and the MAC-10. The MAC-10 pays dividends. How she survived with a mere sliver of health remaining. But her teammate plays distraction, and she can follow it up. And an unwinnable round becomes their 4th.
Just super messy in middle. It's rifles versus Tech 9s and Mac 10s, and the Mac 10s win it out. And it's not because the CT players were sitting there like ducks in the water, ducks being shot in a barrel. Like they were not blind. The flashbangs hadn't just obliterated them, and that's why all the Mac 10s got the kills. No, those duels were taken. Curralzinho just overfought immensely. They had the numbers there. They fought rightfully so, but just it doesn't connect. And you were saying, Hera, low HP, gotta check out for that. Rightfully so, you said that. And yet she clutches up the 1 versus 2. Really nice positioning. It was a good retake. They play the body system, Curralzinho, but they're just not able to get past Hera, who has had a slower and a more difficult Ancient. Obviously Mirage, 44 kills, top of the whole scoreboard, just an impenetrable force. Think back to the first gun round, a whiff 1v1 against Pac, but this time she more than makes up for it and shows that she still is worth her weight in gold. As we take a short little tech pause, the Killers have the advantage going into this final round of the half, where they will seek to make it a 5-7 scoreline, which, all things considered, is pretty good.
I just want to know, why are you shooting ducks in barrels? Why are the ducks in a barrel? I'm very confused.
Why are many things?
Are the ducks alive in the barrel?
If Pet is listening, then no. Or Peter's listening, then no.
That was good. I was not expecting that.
See, I still have some wit about me, even at this hour.
Hey.
Very some, though. Very, very little.
Did you know that the capybara is the largest rodent on Earth?
As a massive capybara connoisseur, unfortunately, I did know that. If we cast capybaras, I will wear my capybara shirt, and I will also have Clyde, my capybara, in my arms. He's actually quite literally in my arms right now.
Do you know that I can't hear the word capybara without hearing the song?
Oh, the really annoying,
Yes.
capybara. Capybara.
Yes.
Capybara. Okay, that's
so
the one. Actually, no, I like that one. But I will say, I was ahead of the curve. Like, capybara's got all this hype in the last few years. Like, everyone was on this bandwagon. I was ahead of that curve. You guys are all just posers. I was a trendsetter.
So I always thought that the largest rodent would be the Dussie, also known as the rock hyrax. Turns out they are more closely related to elephants.
Rock hyrax. Oh.
Yes.
I wonder what a tapir is, because that's, I think, is a tapir rodent, because they're a little bit like anteaters, but I think they're mammals, aren't they?
I don't think I've ever seen one of those. What?
Wait, which one?
The tapir.
It's like a mix between a capybara and a anteater.
That
would
in
be
no
my...
way looks like a capybara. You are lying to me.
I will send a photo, and all your illusions will be thwarted.
Okay.
They
I will wait for
are
this photo.
little cuties. I just have a thing with like cute little. Look at this. For viewers at home, sorry.
Unlucky. Sucks to be
Okay,
you guys.
that's been uploaded as a J5, so unlucky. You've got a virus on your PC now.
What a J5. I've never heard of this before in my life.
If you search up cute tapirs on Google or like baby tapirs, you'll find something. And I don't know where they're from, but anyways, capybaras. Do you want to hear some capybara facts?
Tell me some capybara facts.
So, if one was to own a capybara, firstly, you have to get an exotic animal license.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know what the rules are in South Africa. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't.
Bro, you're not even allowed to have a hedgehog in South Africa.
Okay. And you have to get more than one of them because they get lonely.
Aww. That's adorable. That is very similar to lovebirds.
That makes sense. I can imagine something called love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at hyraxes again, and I just don't know how anyone can think that they look vicious. They're so cute.
Well, you know, capybaras are like the like social animals of the wild. Like no one messes with them. Everyone's chill with a capybara.
Are they? I mean, surely they would be like something's prey.
Well, you would think they probably are, like realistically, but like there's like loads of pictures. They actively tolerate animals who perch on their backs, and especially with birds, it's not only like they perch on the backs, but they actually eat the flies off their fur. So it's like a whole circular life where like these birds actually tend to the capybara's fur.
They're Disney princesses.
Yeah.
I will say it's unfair because the pictures you sent are of babies. Baby animals are almost always cute.
Yeah.
Baby warthogs are cute. Like, no, that's unfair. You have to show what the adults look like. And they're hideous.
There is apparently approximately 1.4 billion capybaras in the world. Sorry, 1.4 million. Okay, I was thinking
I was about to say, like,
that's quite ridiculous.
That's a lot of rodents, man.
They've got very wiggly ears.
All right. And on that note, we can jump into our last round in this half at last. Time begins to tick away. Curralzinho not in a great spot economically here. Oof. They have purchased into a kit, which I don't think is the worst idea, all things considered. But let's see if the killers can snag themselves that 5th round. This time around, of course, we're not going to have that crazy battle in towards mid because, well, Curralzinho don't really have much to contest that with. So that's going to be some free real estate garnered here for the killers. And they have so many options at this point, which is the really terrifying part of being on the CT side with no money. Those Ts have absolutely everything.
This is a heads-up play that hasn't happened before. Akane's, no one's ever got this aggressive A main, and it does work out. Okay, that is a preposterous whiff from Tamazinia. However, it then does just allow this pathway onto the A bomb side. The killers, rightfully so, see someone pushing aggressive A main, probably assume that it's going to be an empty A bomb site. They're correct. There was 4 players over towards the B bomb site, now only 3, as Carrot Banana dies and Bruna Killer controls this massive primary zone. I've loved the Curralzinho retakes. They've been amazing. Even though you just hit that banger, surely this is not possible.
Oh my goodness. I was about to say Stranger Things. They
have a kit, remember?
I mean, we remember that Tech 9 round that somehow turned itself into a win. 3 versus 2 here. Rifles have been recovered. Time is ticking away. I mentioned that kit, but it doesn't look like it's going to have the opportunity. Fly Style finally shows up. Started the round rough, but ends it with a bang. 7 to 5 is our half.
That's how we like it. That's how this goes. Come on now, baby, let me ease your soul. That's how we live life. Live it up to the top. 'Cause once we start, you know we're never gonna stop. We're winning every time. Pushing every day and night. We don't do compromise. We touch down every time. We touch down every time. This is our time, hit it up with the rebound. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you down, anybody in the league gonna stand in front of me. Oh, no. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you down, anybody in the league gonna stand in front of me. We're winning every time. Pushing every day and night. We don't do compromise. We touch down every time. We own every time. Winning every time. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and your anxiety's calling. You lay in your bed, but it feels like you're falling. Do you recognize that feeling? The demons under your ceiling, when everything hurts and nothing is healing. Yeah, I don't even wanna be awake, 'cause every second that I live is like a wasting. Can you help me start a replace all the memories that stand in my ways? You know what I really hate the most is that happens to me is like a ghost. It's so far away. I only wanna be okay. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days.
Welcome back to ESL Impact North America. Sorry, South America. I got my times wrong. Even though one of the maps in North America has already ended, we are only in map 2. Curralzinho, they won 4 overtimes on map 1, and now in this second map they're leading 7 to 5. And in the pistol round they will trade out effectively in middle, but it comes at the cost of a lot of HP. They're going to target that A bomb site. There's already 3 players there for this CT side.
Ready and waiting, but unfortunately not ready enough. You and Akane. Bro, I cannot stop saying these ladies' names. They continue to be devastating. But Hera and Brunakilla, I was saying it before, if there's anyone you want in these final moments, it's those two. Unfortunately, Bruna does get felled, and it leaves Hera all alone to try to bring this back. Takes down the first behind the boxes, takes down a second, but in the 1 versus 1, it's you who comes out on top, and things are starting to look dire for the Killers.
Yeah, so that first half for the Killers was that they just always somehow kept in contention. You know, it was like 5-0 start, But Curralzinho never had any economy. So as soon as the Killers won a gun round, it's like whoop-de-doo 5-3 because of low money, ecos, etc. And then Curralzinho then won 2 on the back, and it looked like they were going to extend to like an 8-4, 9-3 half. But the Killers just kept on biting at their heels. Issue is, this CT side now, they're going to be starting with most likely a 4-round deficit. Sure, there are 4 players, or actually 5 players here on the eco. It shouldn't be dangerous. You know, these rifles should, which is the operative word, just clean up. But a lot of damage has been applied to 2 versus 2. We are in South America, so you can never count anybody out. The bomb's been dropped, so Akane has to go pick that up. Running out of ammo, it's a 1 versus 1. Sam, what's going on?
Memes, shenanigans, and all the things that we love to see. Here is dangerously low HP here. Oh, I died. Oh, it's back 10. Yeah. Unfortunately,
Jesus.
in that conversation.
Oh, she doesn't pick up a rifle. Sorry. She wins the round, doesn't pick up a rifle. Didn't find it in time.
Unlucky, truly. Money is very much a problem here. All over the place. Yeah. We've seen a lot of these rounds go just ridiculously and in ways that we were not expecting. Pistols getting far more value than they kind of have any right to do. Now, suddenly, I was saying that it wasn't a great start for the Killers, but they've given themselves something to work off of here. That was a great little flash and a swing, allowing them to get that first kill of the round. It was the Mac 10 that they took down, though. So rifles are still on board and still in contention. Bruna, oh, shots not landing in a meaningful manner, but returned beautifully. And that will bring things back to a 4 versus 4 now. Calm across the board. All quiet on the western front. Everybody's over on the east side.
The dust certainly is settling. Curralzinho just don't really have any map control. They're going to try and walk up towards A. Giuliano, I love this angle. This is such an oppressive off angle. She moves out of it. No, that would have been so good. At least guaranteed 1 kill, but instead she doesn't get anything. And because she was so deep in A main there, she just calls, stay on B. We have no mid control. There's no donut control. I've got all of A main control. Stay and we gamble stack 3 players over towards B. If she'd got 2, the retake definitely on. It's a 3 versus 2, but instead it's going to have to be this save for the Killers. They've given away 10. Curralzinho have just glided over to a 10th and double digits after being in a position where economically they could have been reset and having no map control on that 4 versus 4. They've come out in such good form after a really rough building and foundation of a round.
We did mention that the first North American map is done. That's W Waves versus Legacy Lotus. That's happening over on Parks' stream. So if you guys want to check out what's going on in the North American game, you can do that over there. The first one was a 13-8. So fairly close affair. And some familiar names there. So maybe go give them some love.
Also,
in the meantime...
You know what? Big up Parks. Like, we give a lot of love to the community broadcast because at the core value, they're one of the big driving forces of ESL Impact. And Parks over in Canada is a massive part of that. You know, doing podcasts, hosting tournaments in North America. Big love to him and everything he does for the ESL Impact community.
Also, I might be way off base, but I feel like he came through to DreamHack last year, if I'm not mistaken.
He's been to Valencia, Season 4 finals, he was at Valencia. And yeah, he always comes to like the events in North America normally as well. He's a real staple of the North American ESL Impact community.
I wish I could do that more often. Ooh, Juliana. All right, do that more often, please. Nice little double from her. Spray down. Carrot a banana trying to replicate, but only good for the first. Unfortunately, Bruno's going to get caught unawares. Okay, Juliana also getting caught out.
Look where
Catty
Bomb is, though.
really does have her moments, but yes, Bomb very far away, but they've drawn the rotation away. Oh my god. The killers have no idea that they didn't have the bomb and that they had to return for it, so they've rotated over towards A, thinking that it's been a fast move with the little bit of utility that pulled through, but it's taking a while. And very shortly, they're going to figure out it's not an A hit. By that point, Bomb should get planted because, of course, Curralzinho can't be too hasty with their push. They have to keep trying to clearing things out as far as possible. A smoke, incendiary just to deny sight lines in space. And finally, that will get planted. These last two players moving together as one. Catty gets swung on, gets taken down. Akane quick to follow. And the killers continue to stay alive. I'm having flashbacks, Freddy. This is Mirage 2.0.
We've been here before. It was a 12-6 lead for Curralzinho and Mirage. We had 4 overtimes. That was a real crack in the woodwork for Curralzinho because realistically, they should have never won that round. It was a 2 versus 4 where they got gifted 2 kills in middle after this, and it was off the building blocks of a really nice play from Giuliano. So it never should have been a 2 versus 2. But when they get into that 2 versus 2, sure, the bomb had to be collected. There's lots of time being wasted there. But they get onto that B bomb side. They throw early utility and then take like 10, 15 seconds to get that bomb down. And that just gives enough time for Flystyle and Tamanzinia to trundle their way through CT, and then Curralzinho don't play together. They play 2 isolated, very open 1 versus 1s. So that 2 versus 2, you know, I'm looking at the utility, I'm thinking, great, they can smoke deep CT and they can take control. Instead, they just give so much time over to their opposition, so they kind of lose that round to themselves. And then on top of that, they just go straight into a technical pause where they have to mull over that because they probably know as well. They're like, oh, we could have played that a lot better. And we're 3 hours deep and we're only on halfway through map 2. We've got another technical pause where 2 different players are disconnected. This is looking like we're going to have to hunker down more than we already have. And some of the cracks in the seams really starting to show a little bit.
Seems we do have another tech issue here. We actually saw kind of as we transitioned over to the cams, Kara looked quite stressed out.
Yeah.
Understandably. I think that this is certainly not going the way that they would have wanted. I will also just point out, so thank you Twitch chat for providing me with a little bit of podcast utility. But Meanie101 has said, let me know how this sounds. Hot dog stuffed into a jalapeno, wrapped in bacon. Good or no? Now, my initial question is, where are you from and how big are your jalapenos, brother?
Well, do you not? I don't know if you have it. It's something that my girlfriend likes to eat, where it's like peppers filled with like something. It's like stuffed peppers.
Yes,
that
sure.
kind of feels like but that's like a healthy option. I feel like when we add the hot dog in there, it just descends.
Okay, but how do you fit a hot dog into a jalapeno?
You can get pretty big like pepper and jalapenos, no?
Okay, when I think of a pepper, I think of like a bell pepper. So
like a long, like a pepper but it's similar shape of jalapeno. Like they can get pretty sizable.
No, thank you.
Sorry, I love the beginning of. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
The wrapped in bacon is just, it just feels like a budget. Oh my god.
Go on.
Wait, sausage wrapped in bacon.
Pig in a blanket?
Pigs in blankets. It just feels like a really budget pigs in blanket.
I don't know if it's budget considering you have the sausage, but then also the jalapeno.
Or is this actually just like an ultra pigs in blanket? Is this like the one step up?
I was about to say pigs in blanket with extra steps.
You got that.
Right, how do we feel about deviled eggs?
Wait, sorry, about what?
Deviled eggs.
Ooh, not a fan. Not a fan.
What do you mean?
They just smell like, they smell awful. They just taste awful.
What?
Also, sorry, So the caster really has a capybara at home. Unreal from Salva.
Yes, he does.
Yes, I'm the proud. Yeah. Me and Clyde. Quite. I do have a capybara at home. He's just non-sentient.
Non-sentient is crazy. I don't know. I just have a cat at home and a dog, but you know.
What breed of dog?
Yorkie-esque. So not purebred, but you know, close enough. She looks a whole hell of a lot like a yodel.
Oh. Does she have long hair or is it well trimmed?
I mean, we get her groomed. Actually, funnily enough, I was talking about her last season with James. So there is actually a picture of her somewhere in the DreamHack Discord.
Oh, delightful.
Somewhere.
Does she have the little like tuft of beard? Because I know a lot of Yorkies have like almost like a beard, like it's just so funny. There's like under their chin, they've just got like a beard-esque. Is that just me?
Kind of. Hold up. I found her.
Okay, let me. We should start sharing this with the crowd. So we've kind of like.
How, Freddy?
I don't know. We have production.
Ask production.
Oh,
Throw up the
that's
picture
so
of my yodel.
cute.
I know, she's the best.
My girlfriend and I, we are wanting to get a corgi.
Oh, very nice. Welsh?
Yes, a Pembroke corgi would be ideal.
Oh, yes, very cute.
We actually were talking to someone about it, and they just went, "Oh yeah, I breed corgis." Pardon?
What?
Sorry, excuse me.
Incredible.
And she was like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna have a litter for another 2 years just because of, I don't know, biology." But she was like, "Oh, here's the number of someone else who has a litter at the end of the year." So there's a very high chance that come end of the year, I will be the proud owner of a corgi. And what I have in my mind that I don't know if it's real is just like, it'd be like a little emotional support dog of like, it's 2:30 in the morning, we're map 2 of ESL Impact, and I just have a little dog just sleeping on my legs, and it's just like, or sleeping on my desk next to me, and I'm just like patting it. It's just like a little cutie.
It's bold of you to assume that she's going to stick around. Although that being said, very often
Corgis
my
are quite
dog...
lovable.
Yeah, so is Peggy. That's her name.
My grandma's
to the-
Peggy.
So there's actually a fun story about that, guys. So Peggy
My grandma? Sorry.
I'm sure you have many fun stories about your grandma, Freddie. I don't. Anyway, so Peggy was she was a rescue, but she was technically kidnapped.
Ooh.
She was found in a junkyard, right? And she was chipped and everything, and they tried to find her. Actually, they never tried to find her owner. That's a straight up lie. But when I met my boyfriend, I tried to find her owner years later. We could never get hold of her. And so when they found her, they were trying to figure out what her name was. And obviously you can't ask a dog, what is your name? So they just tried like a variety of names. They tried like a variety of names to see what would she respond to. And Peggy was the name that she just ended up responding to. And so years later, he moves in, we take her to the vet. We're like, okay, we need to like update the information on her chip because obviously she doesn't belong to whoever used to own her. And they look up her information and her name was Bambi.
Oh.
No, okay, that is so cringe. Why would you name your dog Bambi?
Also, kind of it's a bit dark seeing how she was a rescue, lost her mum.
Okay, but her mom didn't get shot in front of her. Like, this is slightly different.
That was shown to kids.
Yes.
Oh, what were they thinking? Disney's actually crazy.
And you know, it's so funny. Somebody like showed a comparison thing of like,
Wait,
okay,
sorry. Wait, we're live?
Some other time.
Oh
We're
my
back in
God.
game. Let's go. 10-6, boys. Double digits now. And we are hitting the accelerator, or at least we would be if we weren't getting so much utility thrown in our faces. Curralzinho, the killers, still not allowing too much space to be garnered.
Curralzinho are just like me in this game. They just never have money.
You never have money in this game, or you never have money?
Period.
Fair enough.
issue that Curralzinho have is a minute and 10, they're taking mid control. They're going to be allowed that, but that as soon as that window smoke fades, there's one extra smoke on Cara de Banana and 2 flashbangs. So look, this window smoke's about to fade, and they don't have the funds and the facilities to re-smoke that. They're going to have to go onto a bomb site and most likely use, like, if they go B, short smoke double flashes and just pray for entries. And then if they do get the bomb down, you once again get into an issue in a position where there's no util for the post plant. So here you go. Short smoke, flash over. Issue is they're playing double cave.
This is gonna get spicy. Fly style. Oh, what a spray down. How she gets a third there. Quite nasty. Through the smoke, the fourth as well. Go on, give her the ace.
There you go.
Didn't even have to give it to her. She just straight up took it. And the last 2 were with USPs as well. That's kind of nasty.
That's actually such a lovely B-side hold. Like, obviously, you have the issue of a lack of util for Curralzinho. So there's no Molotov for the site. There's no Molotov to kind of obstruct players coming out of cave and fighting you up the ramp. But as soon as that smoke shot comes in, the third B-side defender smokes top ramp. And also, those 2 players in cave, one of them holds cave, the other, fly style, swings out with a flashbang, blinds all of them, and then just mows them down. It's really nice counter-utility, a counter-play from the killers, and they put themselves in a position where they're up against the eco, they're bound to be putting themselves on A's. This makes it a 2-round game, and it's like what I was saying before. They just keep on clawing their way back in. They've yet to overtake, but they always are keeping themselves in the conversation, in contention, and this is their opportunity to thrive.
I'm fairly certain they've only had a lead in this entire series like once.
Twice. They were 0-2 up, and then they were 0-2 up, and then in the second overtime, they had a fleeting lead.
Yes, so I was thinking about the overtime. I'd forgotten that they did win pistol many moons ago.
Many.
What feels like a lifetime ago. Our forefathers will be speaking of these. Not our forefathers. What comes after forefathers? Descendants.
That's just also not what comes.
Descendants do come after. They definitely do. I'm fairly certain about that. I could be wrong. It is 2 a.m. But 2:30 in fact. Goodness me.
I was going to say, God, it's almost 3 a.m.
We go again. And again and again and again.
Wow, this is super awkward positioning because look at where Catty is. Will they overlook her? Not gonna lie, they kind of do. They don't really clear her, but she misses her mark. Cara de Banana only able to get 1 on B ramp, and Curralzinho continuously on this T side have just had a big lack of information and space. So in the 2 versus 3, they're just forced to run out onto the A bomb site. And guess what? Tamanzinia, sure, hasn't been doing too great this series, is still going to hit those shots with the orb. A 1 versus 3 for Pac. She has won one already this map. Is this the opportunity for a second? The bomb's going to be planted, and she has loads of space to work with because Juliana is in T-spawn.
Oh my god, it's labored, but she lives? Position now hard known. Doesn't know where the last player is, and the swing from Juliana is good. And just like that, another round, keeping them in contention, keeping them a part of the conversation, not willing to be counted out by any measure. These comebacks, and at least this time they haven't waited until map point to start clawing their way back in. They're definitely starting to feel the pressure mounting on top of them. But that round, if anything, shows to me signs of fatigue because it was messy across the board.
Even with 3 kills and the bomb going down, still a Tech 9 round. Curralzinho allowing the killers to even up the scoreline. And even before anyone's been seen, the barrage of utility down towards lane and the spam through the smokes puts Akane, Catty, and you all low in their own regard. Curralzinho are just playing death ball. They're playing death squad. And Hera's just respecting that space, playing super deep, not allowing the Tech 9s to close her down. She spots them out and is also going to throw a flashbang, a perfect flashbang, support her teammate. Look how blind. They're dabbing everywhere, just like B-Dog does in the ESL Impact Studios. And in this 3 versus 5, some kills will come in, but surely the rifles just put them to rest. 11, 24, 32 HP. They have nothing really to work with, and now the cavalry arrives from the B-bomb side. A lot more damage than I would have imagined, but with a singular Glock. Glock. Okay.
Oh.
One player staying alive is still a little bit treacherous.
Sigh of relief there across the board. In the end of that round, that got dangerously close to being a bit of a scary scenario. I will say both AWPers this map really struggling. We'll talk about that at a bit of a later stage because, well, both teams now on double digits, both teams on a buy, rifles abound, a decent bit of utility across the board. Now, which one takes the lead? Can the Killers finally find themselves in a winning scenario? Or will Curralzinho slap them straight back down into obscurity? The first kill doesn't come through. Come on, guys. Work with me here. I was so ready for that. It's fine. We're fine. It's all
been
good.
team flashed.
Panic. Panic stations.
Lot of panicking going on right now.
All Tamzina waiting for someone to push through. They do have a bit of util to potentially force her off. Oh man, we don't want to peek anything. And I don't blame them with how close this has been. You don't want to give away any advantages unnecessarily. A bit of util out over towards the A site here now to try and fake something out. But unfortunately, the timing on that was a bit weird and Tamzina misses her shot. So utility is going to come through to slow down a potential push. Okay, for a second there, I thought they were rotating off and I was a little bit scared. Akane, stunning shot to come through there, but she's instantly traded back. And okay, no, when I said rotating off, I thought Curralzinho, but no, it is the Killers, as you've noted, that themselves are rotating over. Bruna Killer's ready and waiting, but she's alone on site. She's caught in a Molotov. Half of her HP burns away. The bomb's going to get planted. The shots firing through are so messy, but no, the bomb is denied. They couldn't get it down. Hera's good for a double. Kara versus Hera, and it's Kara. Okay, I thought she'd gotten that shot, but no, it was on the previous one. They run out of time. They couldn't get the bomb planted. They overcooked that round massively, Freddy.
Yeah. If they'd just gone B, they'd probably win the round. Because Akane gets his opening kill on the orb. Flystyle has got support, but if Flystyle just gets traded out, it's basically a 4 versus 1 on that A bomb, on that B bomb site. But instead, they choose to pivot towards A with what, 15 seconds left when they actually get on the bomb site. They don't clear CT, they don't really clear Donor, they don't clear Temple. They just go get the bomb down. And of course, they have no util. It's been a real common theme of this map for both the T sides. So I just keep on sitting here thinking, where's the util gone? So it never seems to be used in a proactive way. Regardless, though, the Killers, for the first time on Ancient, take the lead in round 22, 11-10. They are wrangling the horses, and they're looking to push us to a third map.
Another miss there from Kara. That would have been a massive opening for them. But unfortunately not to be this time around. And that, of course, may have given away a bit of the game. And off the back of that, they'll send the bomb over towards the A site instead. They did garner some decent results there in the previous round, as we know, and it is kind of the weak site. But Tamzina is here. Oh, she pulls herself off of the angle. I could have flashed her off anyway, so it's not like it's the end of the world. Oh my god, no. Kara misses the shot. This is beautiful from Tamzina, but unfortunately can't connect on the second, and now she's alone on an island trying to get another shot through, but cannot make it happen. Has given time for her teammates to rotate in, however, has stalled just long enough. But will it be enough to help them secure the round? They're making their way in onto the site. They have nothing to enable them. They just have to hit the shots, and somehow many of those shots are connecting, but Bomber's been lost, and Akane has to 1 versus 2. Doesn't spot the first. Finally will be able to trade blows with no time left, no HP. She's going to try and go. She taps it, trying to bait something out. It works, but it baits from the wrong direction. The killers go up to 12. Map point on the precipice of map 3.
Yay. What a great reposition for Bruna Killer though, because she gets a kill for free in Temple and then instantly pivots over towards CT. So when Akane was playing that 1 versus 1, was just fixated on Temple, and yet she comes through CT. Once again though, it was what I was saying, Curralzinho, no utility when it comes down to crunch time. And look again into this purchase. They've prioritized weaponry over that util. Carrot, Banana, and Catty have been put onto Galil's, but they have 1 smoke, 2 flashbangs, and 2 HEs. What a nade. Where did that come from?
Narnia.
The top row.
Oh, it's Akane that gets that first. Oh my god, bro. There's no way they just moonwalk straight into Bruna. Okay, she gets traded. Bring it back to some semblance of normalcy here. Kara's just babysitting the bomb. I said a semblance, okay? Oh, she's I was waiting for that second kill, man.
She just DC'd. Oh no, sorry. Sorry. You got her. Sorry, I thought you just DC'd. No, never mind. I exasperated for no reason. Regardless, though, it is a 1 versus 2 for Pack.
I mean, we've seen her in these scenarios before. It's a little hit or miss.
They don't know she's here. They don't know she's here because they didn't know Bomb was ramp.
Oh, but does she know? Oh my god, bro. Well, not with a bang, but with a whimper, we do in fact go the distance. 13-10 for the killers. I called it at the end of the first map. People were like, no. The Curralzinho looking so good. We're going to go 2-0, but no. The killers not ready to give in just
in the qualifier to ESL Impact Season 8. They won 13-8, and a big part of that was their 8-1 victory on the CT side. So they're starting on their preference. Last season, the Killers played it 3 times. They beat Masitas, they beat Bounty Hunters, and they lost MIBR. They lost 13-11. So they're also very apt on this map, but it's their first time playing it with the new 5. And also remember, with a stand-in, because Sammy's isn't playing, it's Giuliano. But here we go, the third map. We have entered a brand new battlefield. Surely this also goes to an overtime.
Or 4.
Why end there?
It's good to see our boy Newt is also staying in high spirits. He's the one that came up with the British style comment, which took me a second, and then I realized how incredibly dark it was. So, well done, Newt. You are definitely one of us. We'll see now how the killers deal with this, running straight into Akane's dualies, not able to get that cleanup. Kara de Banana from range with the USP eventually does get traded out. However, not a massive issue here, bro. Bruna has taken so much space, and yoink, they will take that space right back. So finally, we have to commit to something. Unfortunately, no real space garnered here, no real advantages taken. Couple of shots being taken at ankles, but not quite getting the cleanup that they want. They'll make their way all the way up onto the site. Numbers advantage still in favor of Curralzinho. And they'll approach in on the smoke here, waiting for it to dissipate, stacked on top of one another. The first shot to come through onto Juliana, making it that much more difficult to hold on to. Catty, she survived her ankles being tapped. You to get the last, and it's another pistol that goes in favor of Curralzinho.
What a round from you. And she also got a bit of a love tap as well. Her teammates go, well done, and just knife her. A missed high five, I can imagine. They really are doing it British style. But Curralzinho, they won both pistol rounds. on Ancient, and they still lost 13-10. So a little part of me is like, okay, they had to get a W there, as they seemingly did struggle in the rifle rounds to get consistency, especially in that second half on the T side. So we've already summed up that their CT side is stronger than their T side from that kind of one example we have. Now time to prove it, as thekillaz are forcing back up with that bomb plant, and they are getting out of long. There's a mean, meaty battle here as they come around that corner. It turns into a bloodbath, and it's all Curralzinho's blood splattered on that wall. Only 1 kill for the price of 3.
Mac-10s do go hard, and with a nice little compliment there from the Galil, it does make things very spooky. Bomb planted, and just like that, bit of an economic reset. So I think the correct call here being made, hold on to those 2 rifles. Giving those up here would be absolute folly, but there's definitely a feeling of confidence back with the thekillaz after winning that second map. They're definitely starting to feel themselves a little bit more here. Taken a lot of very early control, and no, they didn't win the pistol, but winning up against the Force is a huge boon for them and should stand them in good stead for the rest of, well, the next couple of rounds at any rate.
Terrorists win.
Kind of worst case scenario for the CT side. You only get 1400 loss bonus. You don't have the advantage of getting a bomb down, for instance. So sure, you do save those 2 rifles, but surrounded by those A1Ss is just going to be 5.7s, Deagles, P250s, no util. There is a kit on a Carne, but it basically comes down to you, who had a great pistol round, and a Carne who's had a great series. If there's ever a chance of this round being won, it's those 2 A1Ss, and it's going to be a very similar play by the thekillaz. Tamazina storming, searching for a bruising out of long, and 4 players, they get this control, and then they just sit and let Flystyle work her way up short.
Fairly standard so far. I don't know if Flystyle is going to get much done here, I'll be honest. Unfortunately, with this high-low setup, maybe she gets 1, but even that might be a little bit of a tough ask here. Oh, just disgusting, man. Just instantly deleted. Could very well be a free gun handed over as well, depending on if they go to attempt to recover it.
Pac's going to go get it.
Now,
Oh, yeah, Pac's got it. It's Mac 10.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, gun's a gun, man. It's better than a pistol 90% of the time. But bomb's going to get planted. They've done a little bit to whittle away the time, but not enough to deny it entirely. Catty doing God's work with the Deagle there, keeping them very much in contention for this. But Hera, back of sight, getting 2 for herself. The trades are dripping along, but it's Tamazina in a 1 versus 2. And this is a huge ask for this player. Massive weight on her shoulders. Bomb has been tapped. Her head peeks up, and it's the Deagle that does the job. So never speak ill of that particular weapon, as very quickly after losing the Force, they snatch it back in the next.
And I said that it would be mostly down to the A1Ss and the rifles doing the heavy lifting. I'm not even sure if it was. It was basically the Deagles. Like, sure, the A1Ss got 3 kills, so they got the majority, but it was the Deagle who got up from Catty onto the bomb site. It's carried a banana getting that final headshot. This is already shaping up for a raucous 3rd map, trading wins back and forth. And we actually settle on basically a full gun round because thekillaz got that bomb planted. So round 4, who's going to break this deadlock first?
I genuinely thought that our off-stream NA game would end before the on-stream game starts,
It's
but it
looking
looks like they
it.
could be. I mean, they could be heading for an OT. It's 11-10 at the moment.
Or also a 3rd map.
Or also a 3rd map. So there's potential here. Can't even remember who won the first map, man. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Waves were looking for a 2-0, and it looked like they were going to go 2-0.
We'll keep tabs on that, as it looks like Curralzinho trying to keep tabs on the thekillaz here, looking for where they are. And the thekillaz, Definitely feeling that struggle. We're kind of pivoting away. They were taking a lot of that short control, trying to head towards A. This time around, we're going to start making moves over towards the B site. Oh my god, Akane just gets deleted, but you up in the window. A double spray down for her is a little bit egregious. Unfortunately, however, she does eventually get traded back, and at this point, a 3v3 retake on the B site is so difficult. Catty's in a good position here. If she can get this first kill, maybe there's still an opportunity for them, but Flystyle's been looking so hot this time around. However, ice cold, cannot control the spray, and she'll get shut down. Still, time becoming a huge factor. The flash is big, but Tamazinia is still hidden, tucked behind the bales of hay. The horse living strong within her, but it's the killers. They come out on top. And we're back to the merry-go-round. 1 for 1 for 1 for 1.
Feels like this whole game's been a merry-go-round, let alone these last 4 rounds. But a pretty poor attempt at a retake after what would have been a really good round from you, who almost got a triple spray down. But even here, like, this is a 3 versus 2 retake, and each fight comes out very solo. Very well done from Giuliano and Tamazinia, but it didn't feel like they had to fight very hard for it. So these forced by wars continue, and the CT side are always going to be on the deficit. They're always going to be on the back foot. Like, killers, they lost the round, they got a bomb down, they basically had a full buy. Issue with Curralzinho, they lose, and look what they've got. They've actually got a worse purchase than they did in round 3, so they didn't save any rifles. So these 5-7s are going to have to do God's work, and, well, that's exactly what they will do. Unfortunately, not able to get all 3 on shore, as Tamazinia does trade out effectively, but so much damage has been applied. Issue is, Curralzinho don't then have those players on the A bomb site. They were actually spread quite thin. So Catty, you, and Carrot Banana just not in a position to capitalize upon the time it took for them to come up short.
Keeping their eyes open for this wrap in, and Flystyle's really come alive in this third map, which is wild because she was having a really rough go of it, particularly on map 2 towards the beginning there. So to see her step up in such a huge fashion on this map has been quite the joy.
What's ironic though is that she had on map 1, especially in the first half, there was like so many really high impact rounds from her. And then I didn't see any of that continued on Mirage. And then as you mentioned, yeah, just on Ancient, there wasn't much going for her.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. But I suppose we have these up and down moments.
In a series this long, you're bound to.
Yeah. I mean, that was what had impressed us so much about Akane and Hera on the first map. The fact that they'd gone 4 OTs and continued to be the outstanding performers for both of their teams. No one had kind of overtaken them. And there were quite a few ups and downs from other players on the team. Some that had kind of woken up a little bit more. Some that had kind of taken a little bit more of a back seat. But yeah, very impressive stuff. And, well, as it turns out, Waves take that second map 13-11. So there you have it, folks. The off-stream NA game has ended. Well done to them. Meanwhile, here in South America, we're still slogging our way through this third map, unsure of how it's going to end. The Killers have given themselves a fairly early lead. It doesn't often happen that they manage to do that for themselves, and they may yet run away with this half.
Yeah, so the first time we're actually seeing Killers put themselves in a position where they've got that lead early doors. It's either been in round 22 or whatever, or a second overtime. So this is new territory for them. And then on the duality of that, we've never have to see Curralzinho fight back into a map. And that might prove to be very difficult as we're like 4 hours deep on this best of 3. And the inexperience might start to show.
Honestly, this is a wild first. Like, if you've never played in an ESL Impact before and your first game is this,
yeah,
that's a serious test of stamina.
And like, is it always like this?
No, but still, like, your first one, that's daunting. But, you know, as The Rock says, it's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, all that. You hungry for kills, but unfortunately not eating too good today. Juliana round the outside, coming in from the back. And that's the first couple of kills. Finally, Akane will get one. Ooh, Cassie very close to getting a second there, but now her position's known. She hears the steps behind. She'll get taken out. And this anti-eco goes very much as predicted. A 4th round for the Killers, a 2-round lead. And Curralzinho starting to see the cracks, the chinks in the armor.
This is a very, very important gun round. This is kind of do or die in the early doors for Curralzinho. If they don't put pen to paper here, the Killers are going to be sure to run away. And after such a lengthy series, I'm going to reiterate what I said over on map 2, is that if a team does pull away early doors, that's basic, like, you know, that's kind of signs for what's more to come. And on this gun round, it looks like the Killers are going to keep it really nice and simple. They're going to head up towards short. Pac's the only player really observing. And Curralzinho have actually focused more towards B and mid than A.
Oh, lifestyle just continuing to be a menace here. All right, great position from Catty there. Utterly unexpected. Pull that trade through, make things that little bit more difficult. Bomb's been planted, and they're going to pull way back. We're playing not exactly off-site, but near as damn. Not going to be on top of that bomb. They know that they've given themselves a lot of time to work with here, so they can really try to whittle down the clock as far as possible. Now Curralzinho start to contact their way up, looking for someone, an opening. Oh my God, Flystyle, how have you done that? But eventually there will be a trade out, unfortunately, with only 2 players left alive. Again, it's going to take a miracle. The miracle is denied. Akane going to try to get one on the exit. She does. She gets taken out. Another Hera dying to the bomb as well. So only Tamazinia survives at the end of that. Going to keep the economy stretched out, but we're getting to that point as the Killers continue to kind of snowball along.
In the end, when you're on the T side and when you only keep one player alive, but you're able to fend away the gun round, especially in a kind of swing round like this, that's worth it. And a big part of it was just the fact that the CT side were not ready for what was going to happen. Like, the first contact that was taken in that whole round was the short player killing the only A defender. Like, that's way too late to be getting that contact. There was no proactivity around the map, and it was just a bad read, which unfortunately came to bite them. So the Killers very easily walked to a 5th. Sure, in the end it wasn't because so little players survive, but they're just going to be up against another low buy, and they're going to be looking to go 6-2 up on map 3 and just extend this lead, the first one they've had ever. And this is certainly the biggest lead they will have had this whole series, which is crazy to think that they have always been so far on that back foot. That 4 rounds is going to be almost double the lead that they've had across map 1 and 2.
That's actually quite nuts to think about. But Dust 2, with it being the 3rd map, it is that handshake. But unfortunately, with it being such a familiar map, a slightly more seasoned team would more likely get the better results on it. And so far, that does seem to be the case here. Now, Curralzinho, with very little to lose in this round, are going to attempt to at least get something done in this. But, yeah, unfortunately, very little to be given over to them. Let's see if we can get an exit here.
Oh,
nicely done. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, the issue with that is that, like, even though they had nothing to lose, I guess they had Akane on an AK, that'd be nice to save. But as soon as they try to go for a retake there, a smoke came down doors. So the Killers just had a lot of utility to spare. They used it effectively and appropriately. And that was a big talking point we had on Ancient for Curralzinho on their T side. It was just like they had no util in the late rounds. But the Killers, because of how fast they went into that B play, they had so much to use in the post plant to just not allow any resemblance of a retake to formulate. And it's just matters get from bad to worse as Akane, that saved AK, gets destroyed, but you gets overlooked, and Carrot Banana is able to support from doors. So things are actually swinging in favor of the CT side until you tries to overplay her hand by covering herself with a smoke, and that ultimately gives the bomb site to the Killers and also sets up this lurk from Hera in middle. But the timing, it has to be perfect, and she misses that gap.
She's been spotted out and has to relocate, but it has drawn some of that attention and maybe bought them a moment or two longer to allow that bomb to continue to tick away. There is still a kit
Great
on
flashes.
board here too. In fact, oh, it's a big flash, but it does get traded out as we start to push through that smoke. Flystyle with yet another kill. Kara now 1v2 retake with an AWP and no time. She has to just back away. Oh, would have been really sick if she got a collat on the exit there, but no. The tag team duo of Hera and Flystyle will shut that down. Flystyle has been incredible this map. Like, we've already said it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it again, man. Just phenomenal performance from her.
When it's deserved, you got to give her flowers, right? And also, I want to kind of shout out Tamanzinia because she's not had the best of times this series, let's be honest. But opening kill with the AWP, you know, she sets her team up for success, and Curralzinho are just kind of flatlining, unfortunately. And that's really sad to see after how well they've played and honestly how it should have been a 2-0 in their favor. Whereas Killers, they seem on very sharp form, like, you know, not allowing retakes to be easy. Hera gets spotted out in middle and doesn't miss a beat as she instantly then goes, okay, I'm going to go towards that B-bomb site, and actually beats Curralzinho to the punch. This is a back-to-back tactical pause for Curralzinho, and they're going to buy into a round where all they've had to work with is just max loss. Like, they're going to get an AWP out, they're going to get an A1S. Not even the AWP, but got well, there is an AWP on the floor? Yeah, I mean, like, okay, they get 3 A1Ss and AWP and FAMAS, but like less than half the util they would have liked. So this is the type of purchase. I see 2 tactical pauses, I see them 2-7 down after a 4-hour best of 3. I see a purchase like this, and I'm thinking, dire straits.
Yeah. Certainly the pressure starting to mount, and we can expound on this a little bit later if we who am I kidding, we're not gonna have the time, I'm gonna say right now. Young players not used to the kind of pressure, the kind of long hours that can come with a game like this. It's unlikely that they've had too many scenarios where they've had to go this long in an official capacity. You know, your ranked games, and so they can be stressful, but it's very different. It's a different type of environment. So this, I think, has been the true test for them, and they've done very well. They've held their own, but you can definitely see some of the mistakes that are being made, some of the cracks that are starting to show from that inexperience. And for the Killers, this was why coming into this map, or into this match rather, I had them on paper as the favored, because while the young guns can do phenomenal stuff, sometimes it can be a little bit flash in the panty. And in the stamina game, it's usually the veteran talent that have the advantage. However, it ain't over till it's over. Yes, there is a 5-round lead here, but there are still opportunities for Curralzinho. But it's going to have to start now. It's going to have to start soon. Tamanzinia with the kill onto her counterpart. Kara goes down, and that opens up so many avenues for them. They don't have to worry about that AWP now. They've smoked off a lot of the reinforcements. They're buying time for them to get that bomb planted. Flystyle will follow it up with yet another kill through the smoke onto Catty. Pack goes down quickly after, and it's another save that is forced for the Curralzinho quarter.
And we're gonna sit here. We're gonna herald Flystyle like she deserves. And I want to bring up Tamanzinia again. It's very easy to forget her. You know, 8-5 scoreboard doesn't look too impressive. Yeah, you're thinking whatever, right? That's 3 rounds. in a row, 2 of them, she gets an opening kill. That is the main reason to facilitate success. This round, Carrot a Banana, AWP on the bomb site can be a real trouble to deal with those players progressing up long. Tamazina wins that kill, opens up all of that space for free, and then allows her riflers to thrive. So really got to give credit to her when it's due. And what a shot that was. And to kind of build upon that, you can also, and it was what I was saying last round with Curralzinho buying into the round double tactical causes. Like, it's not a good look. That round itself, you can see how they approach that 4 versus 5. Like, one player just swings for a smoke long. One player is just chilling in CT by herself. And there's an A1S on the floor. Like, it feels like, unfortunately, with these younger players, head loss.
Oh, Catty.
Ah. She's making a point. She's standing on business.
What's really funny to me is that production was also making a point there.
Yeah.
What a great angle. Thank you, production.
But then even look here as well, like Curralzinho have just never had players in the right position.
Yeah, certainly kind of getting in their own heads a little bit here. Packs open things up though. Get an opening frag. Maybe we can pivot off of that. Players left dancing on the site here, but they are leading the dance. Certainly not going to be fun. How has that happened, brother?
Good day, milady.
Tip of the hat? Oh, no. Oh, Kara. Oh,
this is going to go wrong. I already know. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, I think she was trying to bait it. Oh, there you go. Steals the gun. Can't follow it up.
Is A1S still in spawn? Yeah.
I love that you in production had the exact same thought.
Can't save it for the next round.
That's magical.
How does that even happen? Oh, it's so rough.
Young players,
opening
man.
kill as well. Oh.
Ooh.
Like opening kill as well, and it's just they can't even get past that point. It's also Tamazina, like it's the 1 kill per round that's always in a really important position. It's like as that 5v4, also the 4v fight's happening, it's like she's able to provide overwatch, and the killers, they're done. They're just running out along. They do not care anymore. The bomb is being left behind, but they just got to open a bomb site. And look at this. We're dinking each other. Catty's just kind of chilling by herself out in no man's land, and Akane and Carrot a Banana. What can you even do here?
Yeah, talk about a foregone conclusion. Somewhat of a disappointing way for this map to go so far when you consider how those first 2 maps went, how close they were, how very dangerously down to the wire. Can we snag just 1 more round? No kit available, so time is a problem. We're getting kills. We're whittling it away. Bruno's 1 versus 2. Maybe, but no. I think that the time is just not on their side here. Down to the last nanosecond, moments away. And oh my lord, they have done it. A 9-3 half. Can they bring it back in the second?
Press play.
After winning the pistol round, Curralzinho were only able to scrape together 3 rounds on the city side of Dust 2, and look at this already. Just being sent to the slaughterhouse. A mid-push from the Killers, and they are doing as their namesake, a 2-player advantage. And even though Curralzinho ended the first half on a high at least, a nice little retake, a nice little clutch, it's all back to doom and gloom on this pistol round, and they're not going to be afforded that same luxury as they did in that first half. And that execute from behind from Zuliana probably puts the nail in the coffin.
Double digits now. That pistol round was the absolute bare minimum required. I say that. I think that the final round in that last half was the absolute bare minimum. And then the follow-up was needed. You needed that last round, pistol conversion, rifle round, 4th round. And then maybe you're in with a chance. But unfortunately, after losing that one, no bomb planted, no money available. This will be an 11th for the Killers. We've seen a comeback on map point, but it wasn't from this much of a deficit. A nice kill to come through there and a free gun to upgrade. So perhaps they can at least make this somewhat expensive, but they are going for the long push here. They don't really have the weaponry for it. So unfortunately, these long range battles will not favor them. And that will be that for that round.
Okay, so it's 1 gun round or bust. At least they have that. I don't have the highest expectations, seeing how the highest kills are 8 currently on Curralzinho.
Oh, goodness, Freddy, your Portuguese is getting worse as the night goes on.
Was it ever good? And the duality of that, you have like Zuliana on 14 and 6, which is a pretty admirable scoreline. It's going to be lower tunnels take. Flashbang out. They will be awarded this control for now. How do they plan to end the round?
Quietly, it seems. Oh, baited out a bit more utility with those shots.
Issue is if they go A, the Killers just have this on the lock and key. Like Flystyle's on a nice off angle on long, and there's 2 other players also on that bomb site to support, which was an equity that Curralzinho just never had on their CT side.
Oh, she's going for the aggressive push.
Ooh, that was not it. Bomb spotted.
Punished. That was hubris. But Kara will take that battle. Lead the charge to bring her troops closer to that potential better position. There we go. The short take also paying off dividends, catching off the lurk as well. So they're going to deny that space being taken. And I think that Hera was at least spotted. So they are cognizant of her, which means that they're aware that the site should be free and clear. Bomb to be planted, Hera to back away. It's a good return. And it's a clean one at that.
Yeah, as clean as it was, more that the Killers made the mistakes. Like, you know, it's Flystyle getting aggressive on long, and even though Curralzinho had missed their cross smoke, they were able to get away with that because of everyone else kind of falling out of position. Like, as soon as Flystyle died there, even though Tamanzinia had also another player with her on the bomb site, they just weren't really in position to contend. They weren't in a ability to contest the short and long wrap, and even though there was quick rotations from the 2 B defenders, it wasn't enough, and it's going to stay flawless for the Curralzinho as every single one of the Killers falls. This is a moment of grace and an economy reset.
A glimmering light in the darkness, perhaps.
A very small glimmer. Very small.
Oh, yes. It's literally a little lighthouse. Just quietly blinking away. And it's guiding them. But it can only do so much, you know, as a light.
It can guide, but
Curralzinho.
they have to get there. And the scout has got an opening kill.
That's nasty, brother. And onto Kara as well. Not the way that you would have wanted that round to kick off. I think they were hoping to win that duel as well. Also, look at this heavy presence in towards mid. Like, with such a massive weaponry disadvantage, I love this. Just waiting to take advantage of these close quarters engagements. And they're getting so much done. It's actually unreasonable. It's a beautiful read from them. And it brings them to map and series point.
It's exactly what you said. There is a light. There is a light guiding them, but they have
Over
to do
the
the heavy
Frankenstein
lifting
place?
and get there. Yeah, over the Frankenstein place. They have to do the hard work and actually get themselves there, and they fail at the first hurdle. Even though they were able to do it against the rifles, they just get crunched upon a mid and they got caught completely lacking. There needs to be 8 rounds won in consecutive manner. It took 12 map points for Curralzinho to close out Mirage, and I'm sure the killers are not going to allow their opposition that same opportunity.
That's a good opener. Oh, things starting to fall apart here. The horses have gone wild. Need to be taken back for training. What is it called? Anyway. Oh, okay. Bruna survives there. That's a big boon for them. Trying desperately. Nice shot to connect there. And this round may have sealed the deal. Both of those players dying in towards mid. Neither one finding an opportunity. Hera on an elevated position here. And it seems very unlikely that they're going to be able to get too much done. They do trade back a little bit. They've got a free opening here, but it's the MP9 at range from Flystyle to make this a 3 versus 1. Catty against the world. A kill to connect, a bomb to be planted. She has an inkling. There's an awareness of where these last 2 players are. This has to be pixel perfect from start to finish. And she cannot even get one for herself. And there it is, folks. After an absolute all-out brawl in the first 2 maps, the killers on map 3 devastate, dominate, shut down with a 13-4 victory.
That is a extraordinarily depressing way for the killers, for the Curralzinho to end off their debut for 2 players in ESL Impact, because in so many ways this should have been a quick 2-0. Like, they should have closed out map 1 in regulation. They should have closed out map 2 when they had that lead, and yet we come into a position where they have just been demolition derbied on map 3. It was never contestable, and the fact they won that first pistol round and only got 3 rounds, and also won both pistols on the second map, it is really just a testament to how tenacious the killers were as they finally end the game that never ended. And is it really truly time for North America?
It's finally happened, Freddie. We are here. The off-stream NA game ended a lifetime ago, but we finally caught up, folks. And I will say, you know what? As exhausting as it is, I'm really glad that we've had such a close match here in week 1. Not crazy, dominant affairs in either.
But that.
Exactly, right? It's been really fun to watch, and it's showing again the growth and improvement, the really deep pool of talent that South America have, and that they continue to kind of hold aloft season after season. And in this particular map,